Hey, what up? I don't know if you can hear me. I hope the internet doesn't cut out on me this time. How's everyone doing? Let's see what I can pull something up on my phone here. You're welcome to join. The link is in the description. What do we have here? Hey, there you are. Oh, you added yourself. I removed you. How's it going?
All right. How are you?
Good. You don't sound all right. You sure?
It was hard week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
My dog died.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You were expecting it, I guess, but still.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't expecting it this week, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was a good outcome because I noticed what he needed,
Yeah.
And I remember I was saying last Tuesday that he wasn't doing too well.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So I blocked my Thursday off just to make sure I could sort things out with him. So it went smoothly.
Is there a reason he died, like heart attack or something, or what?
No, we had to put him to sleep because
Oh, you put him to sleep. Okay.
because he got worse very, very quickly
Oh, wow.
after Tuesday, and he couldn't move around. Like he just needed assistance with everything.
Yeah.
And running into things, and he couldn't really walk, and like the biggest reason was that he couldn't get into a position to poop, so he was just going to be full of shit. So I mean, if you can't poop, eventually that's going to be the beginning of the end. So
right. So you had 15 years with him. That's how old he was. 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So somebody came to our house. So I mean, that was a good outcome. Everything went really well. It was better than if something really traumatic happened right in front of me when I was alone,
Right.
So
it was planned. It was organized. It was in control. Yeah. That still sucks. Sorry to hear that, Annie.
Yeah, we're just I think I'll feel more normal every day. Just not quite feel normal yet.
Right. How is the other dog handling it?
I actually made a video about this. I made a video yesterday just because I wanted to just get it out, just say the story. Yeah. But I did something differently this time because I've been through this process before, that I actually kept the body for 6 hours. And that made it easier. Because in the past I buried dogs too quickly, and it just does not feel right at all if it's like they die and they're in the ground within 90 minutes. So because I kept the body just right there on the couch, then she also saw that.
Wow, yeah.
So it gave her time to adjust, and so it seemed like she understood. And for me too, it's like, I'm a rational person, but there's somehow, like, when you bury a body too quickly, you can't understand. It's hard to understand it on all levels, that there's nobody inside that body. Yeah. So with her, in the past, I've seen dogs that will look everywhere for the other dog, for days, just looking everywhere. And she didn't do that. She seemed to really understand because he was just laying there for several hours. So
did you let her go up to him and sniff him and stuff like that? And
I commanded her to. Yeah. Yeah. We have this, somehow Russ taught our dogs to smell. You just point at something and you say, "You smell." And I think he did that because he loves to show off his greenhouse, Anytime my mom comes over, like, "Come look at the greenhouse," and he takes the dogs in there on a little tour. and shows them the plants. And he says, "You smell?" And he points to it, and they smell the plant. And
Wow.
so she knows that command. And so after he was on the couch for a long time, then we moved him actually to the tile floor, and we told her, "You smell." And she did the same thing. I've seen this behavior before, that she went up and smelled, and then it's like this jump back, like a double take,
Yeah.
because it's kind of like it's unnatural. Like, this is wrong, he's not in
Right.
there. So I don't know. I think she really got it, and she's sad, and she sleeps on the couch at night alone. And the first couple nights she was really restless, and I actually put my coat beside her on the couch, so it wasn't just her tiny little body curled up on the couch with nobody else sleeping next to her. So
Yeah. And how's Russ handling it?
it's hard. It's a hard one. He told me that he knew Cedar for what is it, a third of his life.
Wow.
And I said, "How's that possible?" And he said, "It's just math."
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I mean, he's like, Russ is only 46. So
Right.
yeah, and Cedar was 15. So like, yeah, I guess that's a third of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're adjusting, but it's just been, and we're talking about getting a new one.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, Russ
you were
started.
already talking about getting a new one before Cedar went down again. Yeah.
Yeah. But now I just have, like, Russ started talking about it right away. He was really excited, but I have so much anxiety. Now I'm just in an anxious state, like, oh, but we have to keep her safe. And, there's like a lot of anxiety with a new puppy, doing it right, keeping them safe. So,
Yeah.
but
And your
it'll
other
take,
dog is kind of young too, no?
she's 5.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah, but she knows she's just really well adjusted and really well behaved. So
Yeah.
I do have some anxiety about her too. And that's just how I'm always going to be. Like, I'm always afraid. Even,
Are you gonna get another poodle?
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like a looking process, it
Right.
takes a while. Yeah, we want to find the right thing. And there's really like, yeah, there's some of them are extremely expensive. And then Russ, I didn't know this. He's been looking at the listings for like the last couple years. He regularly looks at listings, and just to like see what the market is. Because you'll get these really fancy ones that are like $2,500,
Wow.
and then they're and those are like registered. And then there's backyard breeders, that's the kind that I've always gotten. And people are really snobbish about it, and they say you shouldn't get from a backyard breeder. But
Yeah.
I've always talked to them, and I can tell, like, these are people that love poodles.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
cool. So he said within the last year he's seen them under 1,000, so probably like 900. So,
Wow.
and it's like totally financially irresponsible, but like, I don't know, we're just gonna do it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Russ has the money. He has a lot more money than me, but
Right.
we're just a two poodle family, so that's just how it is.
Yeah, it must have consumed your whole week then.
Yeah, I did. So I'm ready to start feeling more normal. So I had all this time off, and I didn't work on my dress project at all because I'm so stupid.
Oh.
I just am like forgetting things, like leaving the water running. I left the oven on for half a day.
Oh yeah, that's safe. Yeah, that's safe. Don't touch it when you're in that state. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up my dress project. So,
Right. Right.
but
It's actually smart to realize that you're like that. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't chopped wood. Luckily, it's been really warm, so I'm too afraid to chop wood. Just
Wow. Yeah.
I'll be better soon, though. I mean, it actually really was a good outcome. It's just still hard, even though it was good. Yeah.
Did you have a dream about him after?
No, you know how I get those auditory hallucinations sometimes?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, Well, if I forget to take B vitamins, I get auditory hallucinations at night. And that first night, I kept hearing this chain.
Oh,
I just kept hearing that. Like it woke me up like 3 or 4 times, the sound of the chain. But other than that, I haven't really had a dream about him, no. I had a dream um last night that like the dollar, the US dollar was totally trashed, but you had a whole bunch of like fake money, like crypto that was doing really well.
oh, did I? All right.
And it was totally like arbitrary, It's like,
Yeah,
which is kind of how, kind of how wealth seems to me,
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, like you just
it is.
suddenly the tides turned for you and you had tons of money, but it was this like stupid like
That would be
crypto.
nice.
Yeah.
It was stupid
It was
crypto.
some kind of like green, it was a green in color, and just like some sort of Israeli crypto.
Israeli crypto. Okay.
Yeah, or yeah, I don't know. That's
I'll
all
look
I
for it. I'll look for it and invest then.
Nah,
Let's
be careful.
yeah.
So you're at your base again?
Yeah, we're back in Gaza again. It's, yeah.
How is
Yep.
that?
It's nice. We're with some like a Muslim unit, like an Arab unit. And they switched. They have two. What's it called? Platoons. Two platoons. So they switched platoons. So now we're getting to know the other platoon a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah. They just did a big cleaning today. I don't know. They fight a lot. They're very loud.
Oh,
They
really?
yell at they yell at each other. They get physical. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, when I watched that dating show with all the Muslims or Arabic speaking, yeah, they were actually all Muslim, but all Arabic speaking. I think that those men are so attractive. They're
Yeah.
just like really hot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been attracted to people like Middle Eastern looking people.
Mm. Russ is a bit that like that. No.
Mhm. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really dark, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did his genetics, or like his sister did the genetics thing, and or maybe he did too, but he's Samoan. It's weird. He's got a large portion of Samoan and Scottish. So
What is
just
Samoan?
like island, like the island of
Okay.
Samoa.
Okay. What do they? Yeah. What do they look like? They're like Hawaii looking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but generally like stockier. I mean, he's got the build of like a Kenyan or something, like really
Okay.
skinny and tall, like thin, kind of thin bones, like ankle, like his ankles are thin.
Okay.
No, he's just yeah, no, he's really dark. Even when I have a tan and I put my arm next to him, it's like just shocking how much darker he
Right.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our other dog still hasn't been alone. Like that I wouldn't have trained her that way. I wasn't in charge of her training, but she has not been trained to be all by herself completely alone. So Russ is going to text me when he leaves and I have to go over there and sit with her.
Um, can't start training her to be alone?
I already have. Yeah.
Okay.
Russ is not on board yet.
Right.
He will. He will, but yeah, we have to.
Can you set up
But
like a nanny cam or something to see that she's okay when she's alone?
I was thinking that when I was falling asleep last night, I was like, "Hey, wait a minute,
Yeah.
cameras are so cheap and our house is tiny.
Yeah.
We just positioned
Right.
one camera and we can see exactly how she's doing." Um,
Right.
yeah, so he's left me alone with her before and I've done little tests. Like I just look at my watch and just leave for 10 minutes and just see how that
Yeah.
goes. But the real test that we haven't done yet is when I'm not there and Russ is there and he gets in his truck and leaves and she can't go with him. That's going to be the real test.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But we have to do it. I have to work, you know?
Yeah, of
Like,
course. Yeah.
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 It's business has been really slow. And of course I blocked off Thursday. I had to work the day before and the day after. But yeah, I need to work. So
Yeah, for sure.
my schedule is open. Not that there's any business, but I'm ready to work and we're gonna have to come up with something. But she also goes to kind of a daycare sort of thing over at her friend Elaine's house. Russ can just drop her off at Elaine's house and she feels comfortable there because there's another dog
Okay.
over. So
Yeah.
he can do that.
Yeah, you could even set up like a Zoom call with her or a StreamYard with her or something just to watch her.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. Yeah, we actually had a security camera that we tried out, but it was like somehow we couldn't figure out the signal. It was interfering
Hmm.
with our internet or something. It was really weird. And we kept like trying all these different channels and wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But I guess if we want a security camera, we should have gotten one like yesterday or last week because they might be a lot more expensive now. They're probably all from China.
Right. Yeah, I saw that all the stocks are dropping and stuff there.
Yeah, they're, back up again today just because
Are
of
they?
just spin. Yeah,
Oh, it would have been a good time to invest then yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mess around with that. Russ is only does very secure, prudent things. My mom
Right.
has a pretty diverse portfolio, and in these kind of times she just doesn't look at it. When we went through the 2008, 2009 stuff, she just didn't look at it.
How's Tesla doing, I wonder?
Not good. I don't know
So
about
that's
the
the time to
stock.
invest. Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
the
about
time to invest then.
yeah. People are selling their Tesla.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who's around. I guess we're losing an audience. I thought we would maybe pick up momentum as this was going along, but it's not doing so well.
We're too boring.
Yeah, we're too boring. We need some
Like,
interesting people.
yeah. What's interesting? Oh, so I learned another interesting thing. I was gonna make a video about this, but then everything happened with Cedar, and so I made that video. But I learned that my mom told me something I never knew. It's really surprising to learn something new. That when I was born, oh hi Luna. When I was born, I was in the baby ward for 9 days, and my mom had a fever, so she couldn't hold me. She wasn't allowed to see me, and fathers were not allowed in. So
Wow.
that means I was not breastfed. So
Right. And did the nurses hold you? Like, did you have physical contact with nurses and stuff?
I mean, it's hard to say. It
Yeah.
was 1977. I
Wow.
mean, nowadays they have volunteers,
Right.
but I don't know how organized it was. Yeah, so it would be like my dad going to the baby ward and just looking through the window.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all I got. And so like I've been kind of thinking about that, like, oh, is that, I have this feeling, I've always had this feeling in my life, like when I feel like maybe I'm connected to somebody, I think like, is this it? Like, is this connection? Like, is this
Oh,
other people feel? Like, is this really it? Because I don't know what it feels like for other people, but I always have this weird kind of like feeling that I'm not quite doing it right or something. And I don't know if it's like related to that. I'm just surprised that I never knew this about myself, and I'm just finding out now.
yeah. That's a weird feeling.
I mean, I felt the thing about connection because that's always been a persistent like doubt in my mind, you know. But just yeah, finding out about being alone, didn't know that.
And so you weren't breastfed at all? You had formula?
Well, I didn't ask her that specifically. I think she feels kind of guilty about it, but I would assume when I'm yeah, because she had a fever. She had an infection. And so
Okay.
I said, "Does that mean that they were giving me formula that whole time?" And she said, "Yes." And so then like after 9 days, I mean, can you produce milk again after you
Really
haven't
hard. Yeah, it's really hard. You can train yourself to again, but it's really hard.
So I just assumed that no, I was just always had formula.
Yeah,
No
probably.
colostrum or anything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, formula is also really sweet, so babies don't even want to try the breast milk
Mm.
after they've had formula for a while.
Yeah, that's probably why I was kind of such a big overeater for a lot of my life. I didn't grow out of my overeating tendencies till I was like 34. It was like I didn't think it would ever go away. It was like a big problem. And then when I started running, I think like my hormones shifted and it just evaporated. I suddenly just from running, I started to get this feeling when I'm eating something, there's a moment when you're done. And you just think like,
Right.
"Oh, I'm done. I don't want any more." I never had that until I was about 35 years old. I would whatever it was, I would eat it all, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. Kind of amazed by that it went away.
Yeah. It's interesting to process the SI like this. I've never thought to process things like this.
Mm. Yeah, when I edited, made the video about cedar and I edited, I was like, "Oh my god." It's just it's just all these details that, like, really aren't important, but they're just like, I need to say them out loud, you know?
Right.
And, like, remember, the timeline and the scheduling and, like, specific, sensory things.
Yeah. Yeah, even when you're talking about like yeah, you're talking about the like how you'd never had that feeling in your body that you had enough food and you had to start running and like all that to me is not the way I would process things, I think. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
There would I'm tried to get a hold of Brett this week because they dropped someone I saw on YouTube dropped a video about the Talmud, sort of trying to explain what I was explaining to him during that meeting. I was like, oh, I got to send this in.
Mm.
It's interesting. Yeah, because like I wanted to do ever since then I wanted to do a video on it because like I don't feel like I did a good enough job explaining it there, but then like someone did it, so I'm like, okay, good, I don't have to do it anymore.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Snow White live action. I don't know because I don't know anything about it. Oh, here's Dragon's
Yeah.
Neck.
Hey,
I'll
what's
get
up,
it.
Jordan? Thank you. Yeah, I stay away from that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It feels like a waste of time.
I've
Same.
heard. Hi,
Hey,
Zephyr.
Zephyr.
I've heard people, the buzz about it, but I don't really know anything about it at all.
Yeah, the Rachel Zegler girl seems like she's a one. She's a very strong one.
Yeah, she doesn't seem that pleasant.
Yeah.
How are you, Dragon's Neck? What's going on with you this week?
Oh, I just had a very emotional day, like Demon FE stuff. And I wanted to say that I really appreciated your YouTube video. I think it was great and a lot for me to process. And it's definitely a story I'm going to remember for the future to help get through stuff like that because it just seems very valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I did it that way this time.
I have to check it out. I don't know why it's not popping up in my feed for some reason. I didn't even know you dropped it.
Well, I have not been as consistent.
Oh.
And so I think that's why. Like
Actually,
YouTube forgot about me and forgot to tell people about me. So
I never have that happen to me. I always get everyone's stuff.
Mm.
I'm wondering if it's because of how I manage my YouTube. Essentially, I have it
Yeah,
like
maybe.
systematized where I have my subscription feed, and every time I'm done watching a video, I hide it. So I don't get any repeats of the videos I've already seen in my recommendations, and it keeps like my subscription box to be like a specific SI checklist.
that
Oh man,
is
can
good.
you do a video on that, Dragon? I want to learn how to do that too.
I can use that. Yeah. I've got
Yeah.
like 3 or 4, technically 5 YouTube channels. And
Oh wow.
I don't post on all. I only post on 2 of them,
Yeah.
but
You got the massage one too,
yeah. Which I haven't posted on in ages.
right?
I
Yeah.
had no idea you had so many.
OE. Just OE and like this weird, stupid advice that people always have about niching down and making like one channel about one thing. So
Oh
I always
yeah.
think I should do that, but then I try and I just like can't. I just like, well, this is relevant to that, but it's also relevant to that. And so I don't even know which channel to post on.
Yeah.
That's why it seems much more appealing to kind of just like build your channel on you as like your personality, and then that allows you to have like yourself as the core of the channel, and then you can branch off into your different interests. Though I think that's harder to do from the get-go, and usually people bring in a specific audience, and then once that is built up strong, then they kind of like are able to spread out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
YouTube stuff is hard.
I just don't really care. I mean, the massage one, if I was using that more, it would be just purely to promote the
Right.
business. Yeah.
But then you're better off with like TikTok or Instagram if you wanted to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. There's a few like very specific channels I've come across in the past, like one for like singing and like how to do like specific voices like Elmo. And they're like not that big of a channel. And there's also like another one for ping pong that I was subscribed to a while ago. And it's like these specialist channels are pretty great, but there's like something missing from them to where they just like don't grow big, because I guess there's like not much more to it. It's like kind of just like how tutorials work on YouTube. People find the tutorial video, they're like, awesome, great, and then they leave and never come back.
Right. They don't stop. Yeah.
But
What's your emotional processing been like, Dragon? What happened? Can you share? You
it
feel
just
comfortable?
it feels weird because it's like it feels like everyone's around me having negative emotions affected me without me knowing, and
Yeah.
that was weird
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like I kind of just screwed off all weekend, and then after that I kind of thought about why, and I think I had a harder time with my schedule flipping from like night shift to day shift, along with some of my eating habits. Like I think I had like this cupcake shake someplace when I went out to eat with my grandma, and I thought, oh, it's just like some of that basic stuff is probably why I didn't feel like doing anything, wasn't motivated to like touch anything. But then I started thinking about it, and there was like 3 major things that kind of were going on around me, and I'm like, I'm guessing that maybe that actually did affect me when I had no idea about it, and like made me kind of view the future more negatively.
That was
Like,
that was a lot of contextual talk.
is that good?
I don't. Yeah. No. Well, I don't know any of the details. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I get the
Oh,
context.
yeah, it's hard to add too much detail. Like one thing I found
Right.
out was my coworker has prostate cancer, and it
Oh
sounds like
wow.
it's in the later stages, so it like might be infecting his bones,
Oh.
Wow.
and that's terrible.
Yeah.
Another
What
thing is
what job is this?
my job. It's a
Yeah.
controls technician, so like kind of like factory work.
Okay.
And my grandma's daughter is in a really weird situation where they just all of a sudden moved to Arizona. So that's
Your
been
aunt,
hard on her. Yeah.
but with a different guy than your grandfather?
Um, no, it's like, well, my grandpa actually does live down there, but it's a weird situation where she was married
Oh,
to a guy who is a narcissist, kind of. I think she's probably a narcissist too, but they're still together, and they kind of just been doing a lot of screwing off with weird stuff and like other weird emotional stuff, a part of like my aunt's kids and stuff. Like a lot of her kids don't like her, and she's also of the perspective like she's a great mom. So it's just like hopefully it's enough context text to like understand the weirdness about it. But
okay.
yeah, so she's been through a lot of bad stuff with this guy, and like you think that some of it was so bad that they would be together anymore, but
Hmm.
no, they just somehow they decided that they were going to sell the house that my grandpa gave her and move out of state to be away from all the family. I don't
Yeah.
think it was to be away from all the family, but that's like the consequence of it. And my one of my cousin's brothers still lives with them, so he's going too, and that's been really hard on my cousin too because it's like his close brother that he cares for and wants the best for him, who's like uh just got out of high school, I think, and hasn't had a job or anything, so it's like a weird situation where it doesn't seem like there's going to be much growth for him. And my cousin's worried about him, and it's been stressful on him. Yeah, sorry if it's not the most interesting story. I don't know how to
No,
tell
no,
it
it's
better.
not boring. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. Um,
It's hard
yeah.
because it's like a buildup of so many years, and there's like so many people involved in this like small area. It's hard to
Mhm.
make it contextually smooth.
And so you got sad and you had a cupcake shake.
I didn't think I was sad. I mean, like I just like it was frustrating because I want to fix these issues, but there's like things I
Right.
can't do. And then I found out another story about someone in the family having a really weird situation with their basically wife, where it sounded like they weren't getting the emotional support that they needed. So they were like doing some weird email stuff, and then when my
The wife caught him.
kind of something like that. So she
Yeah.
decides to go find a guy and screw off with him, and
Uh,
then that got entangled more to where the guy was like hanging around their kids, and but they sounds like they still kind of want to work things out, but then she gets all screwed off on like worrying about this guy still. And I just feel terrible about that situation. Oh, and another terrible thing he did was he was writing a book without telling her. Is
That
that
sounds like
just the
something I
worst?
would do. Well, why is that? Why is that bad? I mean, Ben, if you wrote a book, you wouldn't. Well, you might.
I do so much. I don't know. I don't keep a diary of what I do.
It's like a super controlling situation where he did publish
Right.
a book,
He
Oh,
and
published.
yeah, and she just thought it wasn't good enough, and she like wasn't encouraging him at all, and it was just like a terrible situation from the outside like that. But
but what
she's
was it?
always been this way.
What was it about? Like, what was the book about?
It's like some kind of like sci-fi adventure thing.
So why? Like, why? Why didn't he tell her? And why is it a big deal?
Oh, this was the book she knew about, I think. I don't know what the other thing was about, but she is like probably bipolar and probably has some other mental stuff going on,
Mm-hmm.
like her mom. And I think it's just this fact that she didn't know and she has to be like in control in that way. And she sees it as a betrayal, and it freaks her out because she's like has other issues like being agoraphobic, I think you call it.
Yeah, not wanting to leave the house.
Yeah, so she's got like a lot of constraints on herself, and it's like awful on my end because he's such a funny guy. He's like a kind of guy that you can make like the most inappropriate joke around him and like feel comfortable doing it, just being goofy because he's just so relaxed and such a cool guy. And then she's just there like holding him back from like living life, but he loves her, and it's like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't personally think it's wrong to write a book without telling anyone, do you?
No, I don't. I think it's stupid.
Yeah. Because there's like a lot of advantages to writing a book secretly.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, you're actually doing something that no one else, like everyone wants to do, but no one else is willing to do.
Hmm.
And you're
Right.
like, it's like I see it as such a valuable thing because it's like I'm jealous of that sort of thing because that's the kind of thing that I process like when I was doing the game jam and stuff. So it's like a big thing to me.
Yeah.
Can't read that message very well. So yeah, it's just a bunch of negative stuff, and I think it got me probably unconsciously freaked out about the future and like all the bad things that are probably coming and how I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah. I was in a relationship like that too, where very controlling, like very insecure about, yeah, it came from insecurity.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you like wanted to fix that somehow and help them, but it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So it just sucks. It just plain old sucks, and I don't like that. So it's weird how much I'm gonna have to like track that more in the future because I think this is probably the first time I've ever noticed the negative stuff in life having that kind of unconscious impact on me.
Right. Yeah, I had a conversation about anxiety with someone this week, and I was like, I guess the definition I came down to was when you're attached to an outcome and you don't have control, then you get anxious.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good definition. And it's just so easy to do too because it's like I feel like we kind of have like that expectation in so many things without even realizing it. And it seems like at least for me, it causes a lot of anger.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
got angry. Okay.
no, not like at that stuff, but like at other stuff in like the expectation way that I think was probably influenced by some of the other negativity stuff. But I have this cat who is super hard to deal with because they keep like pooping outside the litter box, and I
Like
get
next
sick and
to the
tired
litter
of it.
box or just somewhere else?
Like it used to be somewhere else, but now at least it's just in front of the litter box, hopefully on the newspapers.
Right.
And it's like I noticed when tracking myself, like I was okay with it for quite a while because I kind of just accepted it. But like I've noticed a change in like the last week or two where it's become like I want to punch something. It's become so frustrating. It's like I
Right.
don't
You're
want
confused.
this expectation thing. It shouldn't be like this. So
Yeah, thanks for sharing, man. Appreciate it.
yeah, it does. I don't know if you agree, but to me it seems like just a very like demon fe sort of processing realization stuff.
Yeah. No resolution, just
I don't know how you come up with a resolution because a resolution to me is like, oh, I know how to solve this problem, but because this is stupid emotional stuff, it's not like a problem you solve. It's
just
something
have
you
to let
feel.
yourself feel it. Yeah. Just have to let the feeling energy dissipate.
I hate that. It just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
It makes sense. It's like a pressure cooker. You got to open up the valve and let it out. That's all.
Yeah, so I think that's what happened to me today, basically.
Hmm.
It's awful. But in a way, it feels like processing it. It does feel more enjoyable than like consuming a bunch of like dopaminergic videos and like food and stuff. It's weird because like that's the go-to is just like get away from it, numb out, and like enjoy all that other stuff like unconsciously. And it feels kind of like good at the moment, but afterwards you kind of like have more of that, I guess, emptiness come back. I don't know how to describe
Emptiness.
the sensations of like wasting your life on stuff you don't actually care about.
Oh,
Um,
consume. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. The super consume I did this weekend didn't
Right.
feel as good at like the end of it than like just letting the pressure cooker release some of the pressure.
Hmm.
And then I guess I get confused about, well, once the pressure's out, then what? What do you do then? I suppose you just keep living life.
Yeah, I mean, so you can't really make sense of emotions because it's the opposite, right?
I
Like,
don't know. I can't believe that.
Yeah, everything. You can make sense of everything. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
right.
TI delusion. Yeah.
But like, it's kind of like the weather, you know, if it's a really rainy day and you can't go outside. I mean, emotions are the same. Like, it's a really sad day,
Mhm.
but it does pass. So you can find some catharsis. You know, like you can go to consume, but like you said, that's not always fulfilling. But you just feel the feelings. Like, so if it's raining, then you say, I hate this. I hate the rain. I can't believe it's a rainy day. So if you're
Yeah.
sad, it's the same thing. You know, I hate this. I hate this sadness. So the pain is coming from resisting it. So you feel
Right.
pain on a rainy day because you are not accepting the fact that it's raining and you're resisting it. So if you
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
sad or angry, it's the same thing. You just feel the anger in its pure form without resisting it.
But I mean, and it's nice and it's helpful to know that it's temporary, or at least try to believe it's temporary. But then I feel like there's a struggle with the thought of knowing that it's probably going to be this way again eventually. And
Oh,
that
yes.
causes more resistance because I don't want it to be like this ever again.
Yeah, but you can't control it.
Why not?
mean, I mean, you can get better at feeling it when it's like that, and you can kind of set up circumstances to be a certain way.
Yeah.
But really, resistance makes it worse, you know?
Yeah, it does, but it doesn't help me not want to resist. And then I just like always my mind always jumps to like, okay, then what do we do? Like, what's the doing part? Give me the doing part.
I found it really helpful to practice with physical pain. So, because I find it the process to be really similar. So, even something like a headache, if you practice this not resisting and opening up, and you let the headache just be and pass through you as if it's a storm, like passing over a plane. And you practice doing that, and then the next time when you have an intense emotional feeling, it's the same process of just like opening up and allowing it to be and allowing it to sort of move through.
Yeah,
And it's just
I
practice.
agree.
Yeah.
It's just I
Okay.
wonder for people that don't have the experience how they can better practice getting to that point, because it's like so hard when you have something going on, like even a headache, to
Mhm.
shift your mind to practice that because you're so caught up on having a headache that you can't think about doing anything else besides just having a headache and not liking it and complaining about it. and all the other things that
One of the
you
things,
feel like it's preventing
yeah,
you
one of
from
the things
doing.
when I have like a headache or you get a pain somewhere, you try to feel where the pain is, and it just disappears. It's like it's not even there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
try to figure out
So,
where it is.
yeah, so some things like for me it's like
Try to feel it.
yeah, for me it's opening up and letting it pass through, but you can do something else where you say like, okay, focus on it more, go feel the pain more, go into it deeper, or even like push into it more.
Right.
And sometimes it
Yeah, when
just
you do that, it's just not even there. You're just like, why does it hurt? It's not there. There's no pain there.
Is it
right.
because it's like makes it the norm, and once it becomes the norm, then your brain automatically stops paying attention to it? Is
I
that how
mean,
that works, you think?
I think it really is like when you focus on it, then you're automatically not resisting because
Yeah,
you're
that's right.
accepting it. Yeah. I'm gonna go next door to be with Poppy so that so that Russ can leave. So I'm just gonna
Okay,
turn my camera for a minute.
cool.
Thanks for sharing. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, no
How's
problem.
uh,
What's your week been like, Jared?
Oh, just chilling like a villain.
You got a new hat?
No, I was doing some yard work. That's my keep the sun off my head.
You had a different one though. You had
I
a
have
bigger
lots of
one. I
different ones.
remember. Okay.
Yeah, this is my outdoor hiking camping hat.
All
But
right.
I grabbed it.
I need to go out and do some yard work. We rented a dethatcher and ran it through the yard.
What's a dethatcher?
I don't know. It's like some kind of rake that digs into the ground and like kind of tears up a lot of the grass.
It like
Okay.
it gets rid of like the dead growth that's in the grass, and so that it can uh, come out in the spring easier and more full.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that now I have a big mess to help Grandma rake up. It'll be fun. Oh,
Yeah, man. The life is it's tough, dude. Like all the emotional stuff you're talking about.
yeah.
You just have to sort of live it and go through it. It's like you have ups and downs in life, and it seems like it doesn't ever end. It's just one thing after another, and
That's why I don't want to. Can I just
yeah,
not?
it can make you feel that way for sure. Yeah, yeah, it's
I
tough.
think I realize though that it's like a bunch of thought processes going on about something that hasn't happened yet and that's not like reality.
Yeah,
And I think that helps, but it's still like that worry about the possibilities of the negativities that the future is going to hold. And it seems like there's
Yeah.
a
I
neuro
mean,
connection to that.
just I don't want to get you down, but like the stuff you're talking about is nothing really. It's like
I know, and that's what makes it feel worse. That's why a lot of people struggle with that, where they're like,
right.
"Oh, but people have it so much worse than me. I shouldn't have these emotions," and then that
No,
causes a bunch of
it's
other
not you
emotional
shouldn't.
pain.
Yeah, it's not that you shouldn't have it. It's just
Be thankful for what you got.
yeah. It's
I get.
I'm sort of thinking of this. I have this thought of like a baseline. Like in my old house, I used to live in this ghetto in Salt Lake City, and it was built in 1906. This house, so it was like drafty and really cold. And
Yeah,
and I put in some insulation underneath. I crawled under the floorboards, put this insulation in there, and afterwards it was like, wow, you could tell a difference. It was warmer, right?
yeah,
But then you just get so used to it that you don't even notice that changed. Like the baseline went up, right?
yeah.
I think we've had it so good so long, and people's expectations and social media and whatnot has just like elevated everything to high levels that like eventually there's like nothing that happens in life can measure up to fantasies, pretty much.
Exactly. It's definitely a big problem. I think. I don't know how to help the next generation of people like sort through that.
I think we need to revamp our school system. Like our school, it'd be
For
cool
sure.
if like at about 8 years old, separate boys and girls, put the boys into all just boys and have it like a hands-on sort of like learning thing where, okay, we're going to build a fort, and then to build this fort you'll learn carpentry, you'll learn mathematics, you have to learn teamwork, work together, and do all this kind of stuff instead of just sitting down and learning like 1+1.
Okay, you're losing me now. I want to be in the girl camp, please. I want to learn 1+1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just imagine though, if you were doing that since you were 8.
What if the girls want to build a fort
Well, they can do that over at their side, but I think
on their side?
yeah. I mean, there's nothing precluding. Like they can do home
There's going to be
economics.
a girls' fort and a boys' fort.
Yeah, and then they could have a battle on dance night or whatever, dance off night.
Sounds like a school to create a bunch of incels that don't know how to interact with girls.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be helpful though, because it would like give you a foundation of the camaraderie of being in a boys' club type thing. Because like for me, like I have 2 brothers, right? And we were like thick as thieves all through growing up, man. Yeah, we just got into trouble and swung out of trees and hurt ourselves and broke arms and tried to build a 3-man bike that was hooked together with planks. So I mean, we were stupid, but I think it just gives you some foundational stuff that helps you later on in life, I guess.
It sounds great, and I definitely agree with like having that foundational stuff is great, but I just know how I grew up. I would not have a fun time in that. I'd probably get bullied the crap out of and stuff more than
Yeah.
I already was. All that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That happens.
Some people aren't built for that.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, I know they're like the scrawnier, nerdier guys, and when I was going to school, yeah, they got picked on.
Was maybe we need a system like Minority Report, if I'm thinking of the right movie, where like everyone was like predefined their roles from the beginning. We just need OPS to develop enough to where we can categorize people and make them go in their own special boxes to what they're good at.
Well, what do you think about this? Like, okay, say that we're building the fort. Like, what if you were good at mathematics or good at planning it out or whatever? You could take that role. Wouldn't that? You don't think that would give you a spot to be in? I mean, there's
No,
like
because some number one would come along and say like, haha, whatever nerd, I'm going to do it this way. And it's going to fall on them.
And then he has a plank with a nail sticking out of his head.
I was a pretty boss fort builder out of the couches back in the day, though.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That's fun stuff.
It was great.
So pretty much, there's no solution then.
No,
Yeah, no
we're all
solution.
screwed.
There's only trade-offs. So like we can have boys put them in a seat and have them be bored and not engage and do bad at school, or we can have them in a Spartan ring and.
How about we just do it Lord of the Flies style?
Yeah, there we go.
Just put you all on an island. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna learn today, son.
You're gonna learn how to speak up because you don't beat.
Yeah, kids are
that
evil.
movie. They are. That movie traumatized me, Lord of the Flies. I just remember the one
The
scene
movie?
with the boulder. Yeah.
It was a movie?
Yeah, there was a movie and a boulder fell on a
Yeah.
kid's head, and it was like,
I know it was a book.
It was
Piggy,
Piggy, man. They killed Piggy.
Yeah.
ugh, that was traumatizing. And that day, I became a decider and decided not to trust people.
It's all the book's fault, right?
Hey, Zephyr.
Hey.
How you doing? How's life been? It's been a while since you jumped on.
Yeah. I was feeling what Dragon's Neck was saying earlier.
Is this your drawing here?
Yeah, it's I'm a black sheep.
Ah, Jared's got some
Yeah.
competition in the art department here.
I thought you were a Minecraft fan or something.
Oh no, that was just like on an envelope, like, and I just thought I was just doodling it while I was talking on the phone to somebody, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I think I'll take a snapshot of it.
That's great.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of art this week though.
Cool.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, my mom called me this morning, and her husband's, I guess
Oh,
her husband's twin sister's granddaughter, like committed suicide last night.
wow.
So yeah,
That's rough.
yeah, and I
Who
don't
is
know.
this?
I don't know her, but
Mm.
it was like my mom was really upset, and I helped calm her down. It was good.
Do you notice how the emotions affect you from other people, I guess?
Yeah,
that
very
kind of situation?
much. I've always been very empathetic.
Do you have to like cope with it, or do you handle it more properly of just like feeling it and letting it pass?
I think I used to handle it.
You cut out. I think you cut out. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't hear you either.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Here you are. Yeah, we hear you. I think.
Maybe my phone is doing weird stuff.
No, we can hear you now. Maybe my phone is doing weird stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, is that better?
For now, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just closed some stuff on my phone. It's probably running out of memory. But yeah. Now where was I again?
You were
You were
about
saying
to
you were
talk about
empathetic.
how you used to handle it.
Oh yeah, I used to handle it a lot more unhealthily, yes. But I like found that it needs some sort of outlet, and like art really helps, or like just focusing on something else, and really you have to definitely accept things that you can't change, and worrying about them is just like gonna drain you of energy really quickly. I realized if you have like, and you only have so much processor power in your brain to work with daily, energy is something that we should conserve,
Yeah.
for things that are worth it and are actually real, not just imagined. Because I like to project, things, but it's better if it's positive projections as long as you're realistic about it.
Yeah. Feels like you're attacking my consume where I just like watch videos all day. That you're
Oh
you're
no,
telling me I can't use my energy that way? You're saying it's not real?
you could do that totally, but it's just you have to pay for it, and I do that too. But you just have to take it into account.
Do you have an art dragon, Nick?
Do I have an art?
Yeah.
Or
Do you have an art way to express yourself artistically?
Uh, it's hard. Like the game dev is the last thing I did that I felt like I was able to do that. I dabbled a little bit with some pixel art animating, but like the tiniest amount because it's just so hard to like choose a path when it comes to expressing yourself like that. I did some like poetry a little bit back in the day, like in school, and then like one other one I did about friendship uh, during a time where I was struggling with some online friends. And I thought it was still pretty good, I think. And yeah, that's like about it. Like I would love to do self-expression stuff more like art, but it's just a lot of TI head stuff getting in the way, and like, oh, you know what? I have this video. I think I'm gonna go consume that first, and then I'll get to it. And then you know how
Yeah.
that goes.
You can do art and consume at the same time.
Sometimes.
that is, and as a matter of fact, you can even use like your, I don't know. I found this week that like I started making some art that's like very like small. I'm looking for my box right now, but it seems my oh, there it is right there. Let me unpack it here for a second. But I like, basically I go on panels quite a lot, maybe more than I should. But I found like I really enjoy the challenge of like putting myself in with a bunch of people that I don't know, that I don't agree with, and you know, finding some common ground with them is a good exercise for me. I really enjoy it.
That sounds like
And,
hell.
well, yeah, it kind of is a little bit, but I've gotten really quite good at it. But there was like one panel where there was like people were just yelling at each other. It was like that one whenever
Snafu.
snafu. It
Yeah.
a lot, and there was a lot of misogyny going on in particular, and there was these guys yelling at each other, and I couldn't like interject at all. And and somebody made like a comment that just stuck out to me in the conversation. That was like, well, women should be seen and not heard. And I was like, okay, so how can I function to express myself within these limitations? So what I came up with is I started making these little, they're scratch boards, they're small scratch boards with words. And when people were yelling at each other and I couldn't get a word in edgewise, I would just turn on my camera and so I've got like probably close to like 50. Some of them are just art too, but they're like bite size. There's like all sorts of, this is pardon me. I have a hi. I'm out here. No. There's like, that's a I Ching that I did. And
A
you can
what?
do, it's an I Ching. It's for the abyss.
How do you do these? You etch in them, like you scratch them?
Just like little cards. They're
Right.
and black, but then I also like some of them are like rainbow underneath, and some of them are like these like
Right.
gold and silver holographic, and it's got the black on top. And
Right.
then
You just scratch the black off.
some of them I go back in with the like a marker, because this one like was rainbow and it kind of just blended in. So I went around with a white marker and like did the outline on it.
Nice.
Like it's like really cool. And I turned my mom onto it. Ironically, that's good timing there. This is WoW as well, which is nice.
There we go.
Because I like
Where the heck do you even find these kind of cards?
you can buy them on Amazon.
Would never even think about looking for something like this.
Yeah, you can make those too. That's a really good thing to do with kids. I know in public school we always did that in art class. You can just make your own.
Kids love them. And they're so small, it's like so easy. You just need like and so this is how whenever people are yelling at each other, I will just like, and I've gotten really good at just because there's a whole stack of responses that I could. And if people are looping and you're familiar with their loops, you can even like stack the deck before you like turn on the camera, and then you can just like impress everybody that's paying attention with with your ability to foretell the where the
Jeez.
everything's gonna go. It's like, thank you.
Like a magic 8 ball, you could just put in.
Yeah, sometimes I just like, like totally. What the fuck?
Yeah, there you go.
You should definitely make some Magic 8-Ball one of these. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. And
My
so
sources say you're full of shit. That's what I would put.
it's gotten like super like much challenging to actually think about it. Yeah, you have to like there's a lot of them now, because I've got like, see, this is what I've been doing, because I've been making like 1 or 2 a day, and I was apt. You have a great day. I tell myself that every day.
The STFU one
Yeah,
frustrates me.
I
Like
have
it being all fancy makes it so much more infuriating.
I have another one that is actually like more angular, and I did that on purpose. And like even some of them, like this one is one of my more recent ones, and it's actually got some Arabic writing, and it says, "Use your turn signal, dick,"
Jeez.
which I thought was great, because it's like, it's so pretty, but then I also like kind of like did all the around it, so. But it's like somebody had a like something that was that was really it looks so pretty, you know, and it's like a print for their wall or something, and it just says something totally silly. I don't know where my Angular STFU is, but it's much more succinct. I probably it's hard to
Yeah,
find them.
less cognitive dissonance, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, there it is right there. See, that one's more cool and clean.
Yeah, that one's less insulting.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you got that joke, Benjamin. Yes.
What?
Blame is lamed or lamed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a Hebrew joke, I guess.
Sure.
I
You
like
should
to
make
blame.
a
Figured it out this week.
you should make a no you one.
No, you.
I
Yeah.
saw. Do you guys have the like the ads in the windows that when you're selling a car, like you put it in the windows and you're of those cars? Do you ever
I
see
don't.
that? Like for sale on the car, and then there's like a phone number on the
Oh,
car.
yeah.
Yeah, so I saw a video this week where like someone was driving behind a car with a for sale sign, so he calls her up and he's like, "Hey, are you the one who's selling your Chevrolet?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "Yeah, do you mind turning to the like going in the right lane?" She's like, "Oh shit!" So she goes to the right lane and he just passes
Can you
her.
scoot over a bit? I
That's
need to
funny.
pass you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's one good, like, that it's really easy to do artwork thing that you could probably. I turned my mom onto it, and like total transformation. She's like very stubborn, and like she likes to fix things as well. She's Taurus energy, you know. I don't know if I'm like very into like that kind of woo woo stuff. So,
Right.
but yeah. So she's now doing adages. Like she does like sayings, and she's like getting really. She used to do craft stuff whenever I was little, like trichim and sewing, and you know she's always been cooking and stuff like that. But I think it's kind of rekindling her like creativity a lot, and she's a lot more balanced.
That sounds great. That's good to
Yeah.
hear.
How old is your mom then?
My mom is 17 years older than me, and I'm 48. So
Yeah, it's
she's
good to have something to keep you occupied when you get older, I think.
yeah. Well, and I think it's just good to have a somewhere to put that energy, so it doesn't have to spin around in you and kind of
Yeah.
like erode your soul, to use a metaphor.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I guess if you wanted a hollow soul, I suppose that would work fine. I don't know. And I think, I don't know, doing this like has really like made me appreciate people. I didn't understand like why people would like do things like climb mountains like Mount Everest or something.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah,
doing
it doesn't
something.
make much sense, but yeah. Like rock
Yeah,
climbing is fun. I get rock climbing, but like why would you want to risk your life for it?
yeah, it's
Climb the biggest, yeah. One
putting
energy.
concentration on it, and I think that's how we grow. Really, is we have to push up against the boundaries of things in within us and outside of us somehow. Um, and I just like I feel so much better that I did that. Oh, I love your doggy. I've been busy with the puppies too. I got 3 puppies. They're all outside right now, though. It seems.
It feels so hard to convince people that are more stuck into believing that they will feel better about it after they do it.
Yeah, and sometimes it even works like the opposite. If you try and convince someone, they kind of dig in deeper. I've noticed.
Yeah, that
They,
does happen. I don't know how to explain that one.
yeah, well, it's resistance is, resistance.
I'm pretty sure I do
I've
that
been
too.
there.
Yeah, I think it's like easier to change people's minds just by like not forcing.
Do you want a piece?
No, thank you. Because Dan, he's just asking me if I wanted a piece of roast beef.
I feel like that kind of happens when you like start to do something and then you receive like too much positivity It feels like
Hey, Hank.
a bit of a turnoff
Yeah,
for
that,
continuing the good behavior.
I don't know. I love head pats and affirmation. It just like all I need is just like that, and I can like do so much stuff without any sort of other motivation. But nobody
It
seems to
just
want to do that for me.
it doesn't get like uncomfortable if it's like too much. That almost seems like fake, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it used to feel more uncomfortable to get compliments just because I didn't feel worthy, maybe.
I feel like I like a good job. Like when I showed off my game jam, I felt like the responses you guys gave me was like perfect. There's like some other people that kind of like go overboard with like, oh, it's
Like,
so great, I can't wait for you to do the next one, and like, oh, keep it up, and it's just like
Yeah, then
over it.
then you
there's
don't
Yeah,
know if they're just
expectations
fluffing
on
you or if they actually mean it, right?
Well, you know they don't mean it.
Yeah,
yeah.
they don't
I feel
mean
like
it.
I don't care if they mean it or not, but it's just like the vibe it gives off
Right.
does
just
something weird to me.
And you've just
the
shattered my world. My whole world was based on the people meaning it. Dang it.
yeah. Uh, I don't know. Sometimes I find it challenging to like really, I don't know, accept compliments. I just like finally I just like decided I was gonna just say thank you and shut up about it. You know, like not not let that like go any further than that. Just say thank you and then move on.
I
And
think
it's
that's a
much.
pretty good approach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
It's
like
hard.
as the creator of the thing, you're always like critical. You can see the flaws. You could be like, I could do this better. And then yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to
Like some
argue with people if they're giving you compliments regardless. I mean,
yeah.
even if it's fake, I do have a disdain for inauthenticity, and I would rather people be rude to me than be inauthentic, but that's my problem, really.
Hmm.
Did you really get comments like that, Dragon, in your game?
Uh, yeah, from like one friend online,
Oh,
does that for
okay.
a lot of things.
All right.
And the only other comments I got was like, I think this game would have been better if you used 2D art and drew it yourself. And I'm like, screw you, I'm one person.
I
Speaking
had
Yeah,
of
3 days.
the time budget was very tight. You didn't have time to draw everything yourself unless you put the rest of your life aside.
Yeah, and Googling it wasn't easy, I tell you what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did
How
you
you
hear
been,
about
Hank?
this game that came out? It's called Schedule One. Is apparently made by one guy. Have you heard about this game?
Yes,
It's
I have, and I heard
No.
it's in a
yes.
lawsuit.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
about that in the lawsuit too. I know this Dwarf Fortress was another game made by one guy.
I like the cartoon with the same name if it's associated.
If it doesn't deal with dealing
It is a-
drugs, I would assume not.
Well, sort of. It's about mushrooms, like that can heal everything. It's like kind of.
That's common side effects, right?
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I totally just blew that one.
Did you finish it?
I haven't watched the whole thing now.
Ah, come on.
Yeah,
I wanna hear some opinions on the ending.
yeah, I have refrained from watching the reviews of the ending, so that's until I can like get access to it somehow that is not monetarily involved
What is
because I
this?
don't want to pay.
It's an anime?
It's a animation. It's like Western. It's on Adult Swim, and it's
Yeah,
got pretty great character stuff. And I'd say it's a pretty special show.
right.
And it's just
I,
about a mushroom that pretty much heals everything.
yeah,
And
it
it
can
like,
bring back from the dead, like if it's quick enough
yeah,
administered. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty
and
Adult
it,
Swim
informative.
is Rick and Morty, right?
yeah, that's a completely different vibe of a show. But
It's the
it's
same. It's Adult Swim
It's
too,
yeah,
yeah,
right?
this one has jokes, but it takes itself a lot more seriously than that show.
yeah,
Okay.
it's really. I thought it was really good. It's interesting. It seems a little bit, overboard with some of the, it's not going to bring people back to life. Really, it's going a little overboard in the reality
Yeah.
department, but or it was reality department. But sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack the conversation because that was not the correct term. It's a
Oh yeah, we
totally
were
different.
talking about the video game Schedule One.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's in a lawsuit. Why?
Because there's
Someone else
a
thought of
game
it
called
first.
what?
Someone else thought they thought of it first.
Okay.
There's like a game called like Drug Dealer Simulator, and both these games deal with
They're
selling
both
drugs
dealing
illegally.
drugs.
So they're
Uh-huh.
basically saying that they stole their mechanics or something.
But yeah, the problem is mechanics are uncopyrable. The idea is too common. I mean, there's lots of people selling drugs illegally, so it's not like they thought of it first, either of them. So
Right.
Yeah.
I
Drug
know it.
dealer simulator. Okay.
Strike Deal Simulator at home.
Yeah, well,
I know.
I actually thought of like the ebook readers like as a project in high school, but I didn't actually make it, so I can't sue Amazon for that.
Well, Nookie did it first, though. Barnes and Noble did it first.
When
I know a new game you could make, Dragon's Neck. It's called StreamYard, or live streaming simulator, where you just stream like we're doing now.
I'm guessing there's some games that actually have already tried that, but it'd be worth a shot. It sounds hard though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I screwed up setting up sound for my Monstertron, I think 3 times already.
I saw you did a stream on Saturday. I didn't watch it yet. Hank, you
Yeah,
were. What were you doing there?
As a test stream. I was trying to get OBS to work, and I failed because you actually had to route audio, and just have using OBS didn't do that part. I thought, okay, StreamYard didn't do it. If I just did OBS, or do no, I only failed the second time. Yeah, so it didn't go the third time. So I thought StreamYard couldn't do it. OBS could do it, but actually the OBS didn't do that. So I use Pipewire post audio about the audio. But if I do it there, I know Streamer could do it again. I didn't even need OBS. So
Okay.
oh well.
Computer stuff.
really cool. That's something that I've been putting off like getting better at because I actually have an idea for a show and I'm sort of starting it in motion, getting it like going, but
Are you talking
I was
about an animation?
no, like a once a month it's I kind of want to do it like roast, like a panel versus roast show.
Hmm.
What do
I
you
did a
think?
roast show before.
Yeah.
But I just did my antagonist, and now they're afraid of me.
Yeah. See, I
Of
wanted to
course,
do
Hank. Yeah.
take nominations for the roastee and then take applications for the roasters.
Oh, cool.
With
That sounds scary.
It is.
but I think it needs uh, to occur because there's way too much spurging out on just regular open panels, like, and it needs somewhere to go where it can, safely diffuse itself, and hopefully in an entertaining and fun way.
So you're seeing a void. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but you. I mean, Ben may want the heat. I mean, he told us to watch that video about the Talmud. I shared it with make sure the Machine Lies got it. I think he's sending a Bunny Christ in Reddington. Didn't like the Talmud either now. So, but he's not available right now. So maybe if you have time to take a trip to Machine Lies, maybe
Oh,
you can talk about
you
it.
took a look at it. I wanted to send it to
I
Rand
watched
really.
the whole thing. I watched
Oh,
the
yeah?
whole thing. Yeah.
Cool.
And now I think we need a Talmud for computers because people don't know why to do anything. I can't get good explanations on the decisions people make, and it gets annoying. I don't even know who actually designs these computers. I thought the last Lewis Mossman video he complained about that people make the towers instead of desktops, so we didn't get the GPU straight, and that information is not public. So maybe if we had I guess Talmud for computers, maybe we can get explanations based on why we do one thing instead of the other thing. So
I forget what the Talmud is.
Well, and I think that Liber Indigo is kind of like the something like that for the software part of it, like for the end user like interface.
Yeah, I need to get that. Let me get it now. But yeah, the Talmud, at least according to videos, is pretty much a case law document, and there's just a lot of different commentators. It's called case law about against Jewish law.
I love
Right.
your
So you need
perspective, Hank. That's great. It's really unique.
a Talmud for the computers. Case
Oh,
law.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Because
So it's your idea. Now you got to do it, Hank.
okay, I guess I go to synagogue tomorrow.
No, you got to go to a computer temple.
Yes, I would have to go to the computer temple, but we don't have those right now. I mean, I'm still was trying to. I was actually
Right.
working on building something like that, but this is not this. I these the problems I'm running into right now is why I couldn't do it because, like, first of all, I would probably do it as a business first. So actually don't run out of money doing it. But I just like, well, why do I can't consult on Linux? I can't offer consultation because I don't know why we do anything, and I can't really sell a product I don't have yet because that would just be scamming. So
Have you started
Because
using AI at all? ChatGPT?
I use the chatbot a little bit. I don't like it that much, but I use it a little bit. Pretty
yeah,
much
it
what
comes up with some interesting hallucinations sometimes. I found.
yeah, I want to
Right.
support emulation and stuff. Get people help people with the emulators and stuff. But if I don't know why people do anything, I can't really explain it. Can't really give good information. Like something I've been researching lately is why why does DOSBox support this MIDI out to another application and a FluentSynth plugin? Why they need both? And I'm still trying to read on why, because if I want to do like add MIDI support to no application, I don't know which one to do yet, and it's just kind of annoying. It's not obvious which one makes the most sense. So I'm still researching, and I want to just ask Reddit because they don't freaking know. They just do Reddit garbage. So
Maybe it's just redundancy is good within reason. I guess there's like many options to get to the same place.
that's possible, but maybe one option is just inferior to another one. I don't know,
Luna wants to
and
get
that's why we need a
roasted, but
Talmud.
we can't really roast Luna. She never shows up on the panel.
Exactly. So come up if you want to get roasted. We don't even know who you are.
Yeah, I think it has to be someone that is like
You just got
very.
roasted for wanting to get roasted, Luna. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to be in the space way more so where people would like come to roast you. They would want to do that, and they would know how to roast you. You have to be somewhat familiar.
No, we can figure it out. And she never goes anywhere. We just say you can't get her camera on. She never leaves her house. She is
Oh
social
yeah,
anxiety. It's pretty easy.
you should put in for roaster, Hank. I would love that.
All
Exactly.
right, let's roast Hank right now. Let's start.
Bring it. We
Oh,
got the
Jared,
heat.
you opened your mouth. You got to do it.
We
Okay.
got the heat.
All right. Logical fallacy number one. Speaking louder does not make you right.
Of course
Next.
it does. Have you been in the bit before?
Or that is a contrarian statement. It's like, what is it?
Next.
Like, yeah.
Special
Stubborn.
pleading.
I'm super
Because-
special awesome.
Huh?
I'm super special awesome.
There you go. Yeah, logical fallacy number two is special pleading and moving the goalposts. Right?
So you can't count it too. Okay. Next.
All right, someone else. I need help.
You need help.
Say your
Overcoming
hat's better.
persistence.
You don't have a pink hat, Hank. I see you wear pink shirts. You don't have a pink hat. That's my roast.
Okay, well, I can get one of those.
I think it'd be better than the yellow hat, for sure. I'm sorry that you paid so much for those headshots, but very man in the yellow hat sort of vibe.
Yep.
Needed.
You can't get OBS to work, Hank. That's my roast.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, that's fine. But no, I got OBS to work. I didn't have OBS to work correctly. That's the difference. So it works, but I think it's not even an OBS problem I'm dealing with. It's a pipe wire problem, because that's the new subsystem for Linux, because we get another one of those every 5 years for some reason, because we can't design it right. Well, I think this one may be right this time, but I don't know.
All right, observer rant. Nice.
This is my roasting of you.
So that's the image on your mirror.
Purgatory.
Bah, bah. No, I don't want to roast you, Hank, because I like you too much to roast you. Honestly.
And that's why you must do so.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about my belly again, but
Nafu can roast him. Nafu will
Well,
tell you about his symbols.
I really can't get rid of it because you needed to balance myself out when I picked something freaking super heavy up, so I can't get rid of it yet.
I do have a screenshot of you with your shirt off, though.
Yes, I know, Jenna Chef. I think I
Yeah.
did a couple times, but I didn't go on that dating show because it's kind of. Might go on a dating show when I could just date on the panels.
What?
Yeah.
Plus, Jeff didn't go on it himself. He's giving me recommendations he wouldn't personally accept for himself, but he can't explain why they're good for me and not good for him.
Well, I think it's probably because, being a gay Satanist is kind of a niche that doesn't really have a lot of like people in that sector.
But don't I qualify as a gay Satanist too? So what difference does it make?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think
except for like ladies, but that's really the biggest difference.
Yeah. Oh, that's so pretty, little birdies.
I'll swing if I get very lonely, but otherwise I'll go for the chicks.
Your first week at Roast Club, you must be roasted.
I was gonna call it the charcuterie board.
Let's do that.
I've already made the YouTube channel and did some graphics for it. Like,
is that a play on words I'm not getting?
No,
it's like a roast, except for it's like the white people version of what you take to a barbecue.
So there's cheese.
Yeah, there's cheese and crackers involved.
White man likes his cheese.
And crackers.
Yeah, my favorite cheese is pepper jack.
Yeah, I love pepper jack too. I like Hawaii's my favorite though.
That's not the best cheese. The best cheese is all American cheese.
But American cheese has toxic waste to soften the cheddar.
But it has American in the name, if you understand my meaning.
Then let's put American front to other cheeses. Like, that's what Trump would do. So American pepper jack, then we have American cheddar.
What if Trump was a cheese? What kind of cheese would he be?
A Cheeto.
Oh no, Cheetos are way better than him and much more business successful, probably.
He'd be orange. He'd have orange dye in his cheek.
He could be Cheese Whiz.
That's better.
Yeah, I was thinking of that canned cheese that you squirt in your mouth.
Cheetos just aren't as good these days.
Squirt cheese in your mouth?
Oh, easy cheese. Yeah, he could be the barbecue or the bacon flavored easy cheese because that stuff is gross.
Is that where they spell it with a Z instead of an S?
Yes.
Cheese?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it can't legally be called CHEESE. Right. There actually laws against that in the United States.
It's kind of like margarine, it's made of like oil products.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Where did the word margarine come from? Margarine.
I don't know, but I know they made it to fatten up turkeys, and the turkeys that they fed it to forcefully died, and so they flavored it like butter and sold it to us instead.
Nice.
And we couldn't believe it.
Good solution.
Yeah, and people just actually bought that it was.
We couldn't believe it wasn't actual butter.
Real butter is so much better. I mean, in moderation, of course.
Yeah, butter is better.
The word margarine originates from a French word, margarine. Same spelling.
So it's the French's fault.
Which in turn comes from a Greek word meaning
Hmm.
pearl. So why pearl? I guess because it's white.
It's probably what
What's
they
the
put in there.
Have you ever
Yeah.
seen Velveeta cheese without its coloring?
Maybe it gives you kidney stones that are shiny. I don't know.
Is it like
There's-
clearish? Is it like
Yes.
jelly-ish?
Yeah.
Ew.
It looks gross.
It's like Vaseline.
It says it comes from pearl because referring to the pearly luster of margaric acid.
Margaric acid. Wow.
I
Yeah,
never
which
heard
is-
that one.
It's a fatty acid discovered by a French chemist.
Benjamin, have you heard of margaric acid?
Margaric
when was
acid.
that?
No, I haven't.
When was that discovered, Annie? Like
But I
in
assume
the
that's
50s?
what margarine's from.
Oh, let me see.
Or when they started becoming popular, like in the 50s, like after World War II,
The
probably.
the chemist, is from 1786 to 1889.
Nice.
But margarine became popular after World War II, right?
Once they
Remember
stopped feeding it to turkeys.
do you remember when they used to call it oleo? My grandma called it oleo.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's like a colloquial term often used interchangeably with margarine. Yeah, she always called it oleo.
Must be in a southern term. It's not even in the Wikipedia page. Wait,
That's
I'm in the
dangerous.
wrong page. And I'm in the margaric acid page.
I was like in my 20s before I even had real butter.
Wow.
And can you
Right.
imagine
Yeah.
the first time I had real butter, I put it on bread and I was like, wow, it was like crack for me.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and it's actually so much healthier than margarine. Margarine is just all not very good oils.
Oleo
Yeah.
just makes me think of songs.
We were poor when I was growing up, so we had to use margarine and all cheap stuff. So
Yeah, that sounds like my ex. His mom like is not a good cook at all. She's a nurse, and she's really good at that, but she can't cook. And like so his idea of what a grilled cheese was growing up was like you put bread on a cookie sheet and then you put the American cheese on and then you put it in the oven and then you like basically cook it to a hockey puck. So the first time he had a grilled cheese sandwich, somebody had to force him to try it because he was just like, "No, I don't want that. That's freaking gross," because he had no clue what it was. And then he just like cried because it was so good.
Yes, that's why we should keep women out of the kitchen.
Are you not allowed to have butter in your religion, Jared? Is that why? Mormons can't have butter? Okay.
No. It's because of our age when we grew up, because all of the cholesterol stuff was vilified. And so they thought that vegetable fats were better, but then they were using like hydrogenated oils, and they thought that that was a healthier option for heart disease, but it actually isn't. It causes inflammation. So
Lovely stuff.
The fat at the time was everything was like low fat, lower the fat as
anything
as
fat
much
was
as possible.
just people freaked out about it. It was like just like how diets and stuff they oscillate between different fads. Same with the food pyramid and all that other stuff.
Yeah, they don't have a clue what we should eat.
I like to make grilled cheese with like eggs actually sometimes, or you can actually cheat and use mayo and grill it. It sounds like it would be gross, but it actually works really well. It's almost
I
just
think
like
I'll have one now.
making French
Isn't
toast.
mayo also vegetable oil?
Some of them are
Would you say mayo?
Yeah.
egg white, lemon juice.
I
There's some
mean,
vegetable oil in there, I think. But
You can use
Mostly vegetable oil, I think. It's like 90% vegetable oil.
yeah, but you could use like a good one. So there's ones that have hydrogenated oil, or you can make like an aioli from olive oil, or like a better,
Yeah.
healthier oil.
I make a single egg mayo sometimes, but it really depends on whether or not the barometric pressure is too high of whether it's going to actually work or not with a small batch like that. Sometimes it just doesn't emulsify.
Because of the barometric pressure.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's it just doesn't work sometimes. And I noticed that it was when it was like stormy out, and it could also be just that there's more humidity, and that could have something to do with it. But it's like really hard to do because it's in such a small amount, because you have to get it just right.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference. It's like kind of like baking instructions for high altitude are a little bit different.
Yeah. I get terrible headaches from barometric pressure changes.
I do too.
It's a problem because of where I live. In Oregon, it's a big problem.
Yeah. Are you in the high desert area of that, or are you more coastal or forests or what?
Yeah, I'm more in the western side in a valley.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Oregon. And it's beautiful, and a lot of the scenery in the high desert area is just like here in New Mexico.
Right. I used to live in northeast Oregon as well, more deserty.
Yeah, I was like, the oxygen there, because it's so much lower in altitude though, is like totally different. So whenever I went there from here, being like almost a mile up, I felt like a superhuman. And I did some hikes that with like stupid, I didn't take water, but I was doing the hard hike up like Monkey Face Rock and stuff. We went there.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna die, but I made it up to the top, and then I passed out under a tree for about an hour.
Yeah, I'm basically at sea level here.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they come to Albuquerque, they are not, they don't plan for the altitude sickness that most people that are like used to being at sea level will get.
What's your altitude in Albuquerque then?
It's well, up near the peak, it's definitely like there's a mountain behind Albuquerque, and it's not a very big one, but it's up above almost to 6,000 feet, but not quite. It's pretty much close to what Denver is. But I live in the valley, which is significantly lower, but it's not that much lower than the Continental Divide.
What's the altitude in the valley?
I would have to check. One moment.
Like 2,000 feet or 3,000 or something like that?
Yeah, let me see. I think it's higher than that, actually.
3,000?
Just a second. I'm searching for it right now. I'm
Yeah,
only typing.
my altitude's like 3,800, and the mountain behind my house is about almost 7,000 feet.
Albuquerque elevation is 5,312.
Oh, it's way higher than I would thought then.
Yeah, it is. It's as high as Denver, pretty much. And the peak is actually much higher. The East Mountain to live was quite a lot higher, and it was colder.
Yeah, that is almost a mile high then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most people don't know it because Denver's the mile high city.
Yeah. It's from that same the Colorado Plateau uplift. Probably put it up that high.
The Sandia Mountain is like the very beginning of there's the Sangre de Cristos, which lead over to the Rocky Mountains in the Four Corners area. Pretty much, it starts there. But there's a few mountain ranges that are connecting ones that were the original uplift that started the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, cool.
I love the Sandias. It's so awesome. There's so many. I'm a rock hound, so there's a bunch of different exposed layers of all the geological.
Oh yeah, that's fun to hunt down there, I bet.
Oh yeah, I go out to the Llanos, which is like this it's kind of like a flood catch for whenever it rains in the desert, like to keep it from flooding the city and the valley. They have this big basin, and it pretty much like there's a bunch of sand walkers that go to this depression, and it just gets filled with all sorts of like sand polished rocks. And I love
cool.
to I can go out with like empty backpack and come back with a whole bag of rocks that are really cool.
That is sort of like a huge mining sieve that's built in, huh?
Yeah, well, there's quite a lot of mining here too. They had like Madrid, New Mexico. It's the Turquoise Trail. There was a few diamond mines and some gold and silver mines. And there's like the Rainbow Garnet mine, which is like hematite garnet clusters that you could just basically go and just pick up like beautiful garnet, like rough rock, not faceted stones, but you could actually, if you had the skills, you could make them into like faceted jewelry and stuff. But yeah, I love minerals. My ex's dad was a metallurgist, and he's told me I missed my calling as a geologist, but I don't know about that.
It's fascinating because you like when you see pictures of Albuquerque, you would think, oh, it's going to be you wouldn't think it's that high and it's like flat, dry,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
flat.
does that perception thing where you're like, oh, it's going to be one way, but it's actually different. So that's sort of cool when that happens.
Yeah, we have some really interesting. There's a lot of different biomes of environment too, because like we went camping last summer up in by Las Vegas, New Mexico, and there's hot springs that were like searingly hot, and there's a bunch of like old towns. There's like it's really beautiful green on my YouTube channel. Like I have, I think, a video of us driving down from El Porvenir to Montezuma, and there's all sorts of old buildings. There's a university there that looks like a Russian castle, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere when we're driving up this beautiful. Really, they don't bother like mowing the sides of the road. It's just like all lush and green. There's like idyllic like farmhouses and big properties, ranches.
Yeah, that's sort of how it is here in Utah. Like you have different biomes because the mountains are so high. So just like every couple thousand feet, it's like hitting different uh trees and bushes and stuff. So it's interesting.
Sorry, I had someone just started a shop vac outside. It's like the door was open. Yeah, I love Utah. I would really been wanting to go to Mitten Peaks um, for a while now.
Where's that one at? Mittens, you said?
Yeah, Mitten Peak it's basically it's near the Four Corners, but it's on the Utah quadrant.
Okay.
And it's above like where the Colorado River cuts through a little bit and kind of does that thing where it goes down into Arizona and becomes Lake Powell.
Okay. I've driven by there. Yeah, I know where you're at. It's called the Mittens, right?
Yeah, the Mittens, and there's a third peak too that makes like it's in an equilateral triangle, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a pretty large energy vortex there that probably would compete with Sedona. Sedona's really beautiful too, though. I just recently drove through there, went camping. My friend lives there.
Yeah, I've been there too. Um, I went on a bird watching trip down there, and it's wild. I went down to
Um,
like the Mexican Arizona border, and it was like in a mountainous thing. So yeah, we got these cool hummingbirds and woodpeckers and stuff. So
well,
really
I
pretty.
lived there. I lived there for 5 years.
In Sedona?
Yeah, I went to high school there.
Oh, that's cool. My friend works at Apotheca,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a stand-up comedian, and he does like roller derby and comedy improv.
I wonder where do they do roller derby in Sedona?
In Jerome, actually.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really cool because he took us to Jerome like at night, and we like wandered around,
Mm-hmm.
like nobody out at all, but it was kind of creepy. It's a really cool place. I guess I didn't know, but my mom told me that I had been there when I was really young. They broke down near there, and my dad just happened across somebody's mailbox that had our last name on it, and it's like really unique last name. And my
Mhm.
dad just like knocked on their door and was like, are you this person? Because we're probably related. It's like, my last name is related to me.
That's cool. Yeah, Jerome is so pretty at night. Like if you're driving home from like Flagstaff to Sedona to see Jerome up on the hill, you can see the
it's crazy.
lights. Yeah.
There's only
I
one
miss
way
that.
in and one way out, and it's kind of like out of the way. It's very cool. I heard that it's gotten really expensive there, though. Is what Zach, my friend, was saying.
Yeah, I believe it.
Probably went the way of Taos, because Taos used to be a really cool artist community in New Mexico, and now it's like all taken over by people with lots of money.
Yeah. Well, I had a magical childhood, high school years growing up there, and I went to a really special boarding school that was on 40 acres in Sedona. And, I rode horseback all over and learned all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like my younger childhood, because I grew up like basically in a place called Lindrith that was like very small, and it's between Santa Fe and Los Alamos, basically in the middle of the desert. And like my parents' friends had a ranch where they, raised cattle, and so I spent a lot of time riding horses and stuff when I was little.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I'm still friends. I don't think I'm really the type of person that would still be friends with high school mates, but we're all really close. So, I mean, one of the main reasons I'm still on Facebook is because I'm connected to all those people I went to high school with.
Yeah, that's the only place I'm connected with any of the people I went to high school with. But I think because I moved in 4th grade, and I had come from such a small town, I was really like out of place, and I never really got the whole social hierarchy order. It never really made sense to me, and it still doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this school was so unique because it was a boarding school, but I didn't live there. I lived off campus with my mom and my sister, but there were no cliques because it was so small. I mean, there were, more charismatic people, I guess, more popular, but not really, We were just all one big family.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I mean, I look back on it romantically, reminiscing, because like the friends that I had there, you like didn't really get to pick them. You had to like be friends with whoever was there, and there wasn't that whole cliquishness. I think
Yeah.
that is a more natural state for humans to be in smaller groups like that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth to that. When the size of a population gets over a certain amount, then more tribalism type things happen. Like a typical, big public school, there might be like thousands of kids,
Yeah, that's like my high school that I was in Montana, and it was the same thing. It was a smaller high school, and like you knew every single person. You knew who they were. There was like no hiding, and like there was a little bit of clicking, but they were like so lubricated. You could just go from one to one, and no one cared.
Yeah.
And then like the high school that's here for my kids, it's got like 5,000 or 3,000. It's like nearly 5,000 people. Like how in the world and it's only 3 grades.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, there was 500 people in my graduating class, because I grew up in Aztec, which is right by Farmington, which is like the major city in the Four Corners in the New Mexico quadrant. But it's like a tri-city area, because it's more than tri-city, because there's like Florida, which is very small, and then there's Kerwin, Bloomfield, Aztec, and Farmington is the big city. But Aztec, I actually grew up like outside of town too. Like my parents built a house, and it was like 7 miles out of town. towards the Colorado border. It was about a few miles from the Colorado border. Durango was probably the nearest Colorado town.
Yeah, I've been there. That's right outside of the
Fort Lewis.
Monte Verde or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have.
that's
We used
beautiful.
to go to Cedar Lake every summer for my dad and my uncle buddy's birthday for a week, and I really enjoyed that area a lot.
I have a Farmington question.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best law firm in Farmington?
Um, I do- I would say that it was I had a lawyer whenever I was there, but she was based in Telluride, and
Thank you.
she would drive down.
Yeah, that's good enough. I gotta check there.
Yeah, her name was Rebecca something. There's this pretty small town too, so shouldn't be too hard to find her. She was very good. She actually showed up at my house to make sure that I came to court whenever I slept in accidentally, because I am retardy. Generally, I have a hard time being anywhere on time unless I really prepare for it, like days ahead of time.
That's odd because I don't have that problem, and we're both
Yeah,
autistic.
yeah. You I have OCD too, but not the like cleany kind, unfortunately.
No OCD diagnosis whatsoever.
Yeah. That's interesting because I can see some tendencies.
Yeah, but you can also see me slack off on a whole bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, like I don't wait till I got everything prepared to broadcast to say, let's get the thing done.
Yeah, I don't do that either, but I do procrastinate and I use it as the tool of efficiency because I find that if I have the pressure of a deadline, I work a lot better. If
So
at the very end of the deadline coming up.
so how I get around is I'll just push I'll push the deadline up. What do you call it? Yeah, I just push the deadline up to I can actually have a false deadline and a true deadline. That way, I'm never too late to be noticed.
Yeah. See, and I did that for a while too, where I would like set all my clocks like 10 minutes off, so I could have an extra 10 minutes no matter what. But it's just so much easier just to not work for people that care anything about when, except for when I'm done, because I can finish things with a deadline, but for some reason, like arriving somewhere at a certain time is not as urgent in my mind. And if it really bugs somebody, I don't, and they're like really specifically complaining about it, I just don't want to work for them anymore. I can just find somebody else to work for.
Yeah, fine work's not that easy for me. It's
Yeah.
probably because I didn't have experience at we have a session before I start anything in the workforce, so everyone's persnickety.
Yeah, I get bored with jobs really easy. So until I started like working for myself and doing like handy person work, I really didn't have like a consistent job history. I did a bunch of different jobs and I was good at them for short periods of time, but then I would get bored or, something would, another opportunity would come up and I would change jobs.
Yeah, I probably can get back into just technical consulting and stuff. But like I said before, I need like a town move for computers because even if I search for stuff, I can't get a good justification of why we're doing one thing instead of another thing. It's getting annoying. And I have actual overpriced training they didn't finish paying for yet in this, and I'm still having these issues. I
Have you
know people with businesses complain about stuff that should be trivial, like Louis Rossman.
Yeah.
So
Have you considered like maybe cultivating your intuition a bit? Like, because I find that that's very useful when I'm making choices to kind of, I don't know, consult all my brains, the gut one and the heart one especially.
yeah, it's just a really hard problem. I'm super high in intuition, but
No, you're a center. You're low intuition.
Well, only in your model. In
Okay.
your model, I am, but like everyone else disagrees with you. So
Okay.
I think
Continue to roast Hank, everyone. Go.
okay, I can do this. I think I have noticed that you are not particularly empathic with that intuition, though.
yeah, empathy is for narcissists. I'm an autist.
Oh, I think that's something that you might want to look into a little further, because empathy is actually what they lack.
Right. Empathy is a skill like any other. To learn it.
And it's not to be confused with sympathy, because that comes from a spot of superiority and not believing in other people, I guess. Or just believing in yourself too much, maybe.
I pity the undercooker.
Okay, Mr. T. Small T. No, you have muscles. That was a dig on that, just to be clear.
Yeah, she's got a picture of you with your shirt off.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he's
so does
actually
Jeff.
he's very buff. I was like, why don't you just put that on your dating profile? Because I'm sure that you would attract a few girls. But
Well, here's the thing: people sure about things like oh, that's insists that things just a numbers game. They never established a baseline, so we can't even do any numbers yet. We don't have a baseline hit statistic, so there's no numbers we can get. We can't crunch anything. So that's what
yeah,
annoys me.
because there's too many individuals in the world, you know. We just need to be more Borg-like.
There is a push to being individuals in this generation.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't find it to be problematic unless you make it other people's issue. And people,
Mm.
or that people push into your business unnecessarily. And I don't like that either. I don't like authority though, except for
There's too
mine.
many of us to be individuals. To all
Yeah,
be individuals.
I think we can get along if we try.
Mm.
Isn't there like a carrying capacity though? Like if everybody is so individualistic, then society won't function anymore.
I don't know about that. I think that most people just are way too wrapped up in avoiding what they could be working on and changing in themselves. I know I was for the longest time, and I was worried about things that really were not even important because of social programming or whatever. And so it's like a cope to. I think you can love everybody. That everybody has some wisdom that you don't have, and some people, you know, maybe you just don't. You can love them from afar.
I always found it weird that people would virtue signal being individuals by joining a bandwagon.
Yeah,
Doesn't make any sense to me.
I think a lot of people don't even realize it though. I think
Yeah.
it's like it's like on the back burner deep animal brain thing that makes them not want to be left behind, right?
yeah, the FOMO.
Feel like I've
Yeah,
been
well,
there.
I think that, like, do you guys feel like maybe there's a lot of people in the world that haven't really done any self-investigation and they have no idea who they are really, and it doesn't matter much to them?
There's people
Probably.
that do it way too much and they push it in your face all the time too.
Yeah, that's true. Like trying to force it on you that they're correctness. Yeah, I get that a lot too. Mostly religious extremists of some sort, fundamentalist people a lot.
That or nationalists or some
It's all fear.
other ideologies.
It's all fear-based because they're really actually probably insecure in their own beliefs. As if there was only
I
one
don't
way.
know.
Vegans, yeah.
Yeah, vegans are very annoying to people, and I don't understand why. I mean, I guess that's the entire thing because they, you know, are always asking for like, you know, to be accommodated.
Do you think that people that are on the LGBT spectrum stuff
On the letters,
that wear
on
like
those letters. Better
I'm
to
wear
very
like
It's
rainbow masks
actually
and stuff?
it's
Do you think they
actually
are?
I
LGBTQXYZ.
I thought it was
Yes.
IA. What happened to the IA?
I don't
I
know
don't
if
There's
even
a
it's
know what
plus
still a
that
there
thing.
too
means.
somewhere. There's a plus there
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and plus, yeah.
Oh,
But
plus.
anyways, do you
Don't
think that
forget
those
AI.
people are
Add AI in there now.
Mm.
do you think those people are insecure in the same way as like the nationalists and the religious people who put their ideas out in
Extremes are
front?
insecure, yeah.
I
All of the
think that
extremes are.
Yeah, I think it has been like memeified into the culture in some sort of way. Like it has a mimetic feel to me. That and I have a trans kid, like that is a grown adult, at 18, like decided that they were going to transition, started taking hormones. Um, and so I was like sort of I have some experience with like having to confront that
Yeah.
in my own and I noticed that there was a definite like disconnect, the entitlement, like it should be just easy for everybody to accommodate their because it is like more comfortable for their generation to be more flexible with the pronouns and things, but
Yeah.
like so there was a bit of conflict with us because like they came to Thanksgiving with my gay Jewish friend and our other gay like Republican friend and a couple of other people that were guests of the host, which was the gay Jewish guy, and he's a really nice guy. And whenever I was like telling stories about them being when they were young, I accidentally, they hadn't said anything about like preferring certain pronouns and like
Yeah.
it wasn't obvious because they were still wearing makeup and somewhat girly clothes, um that they would prefer to be called they or her or him rather than her, and it was something that I had been used to calling them from the time they were very little, her, she. And so but instead of saying something about it, I got a text at dinner, which I don't pay attention to my phone when I'm with guests, like having a dinner. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's rude. And so I didn't get the message until after everything was over. And then, like, eventually they were staying with me for a couple of months, right before the pandemic happened, and they left. And then I found a Facebook post because they're my Facebook friend, and like it was talking about how I didn't accept them and they felt rejected, and I like had to like nip that in the bud like right away, like don't you just why are you assuming that that is the case? You're not looking at it from my perspective, and it would be very much easier for me if you were wearing a thing that would remind me like use my proper pronouns, and I know that sounds silly, but it's just like it's easier for you because we didn't put those conditions of needing to be one thing or another on you.
Yeah,
The
that
way
sounds
that
like that would be really hard on you, that situation.
yeah, it was. I had to actually confront my kid,
I
and
mean, you probably felt attacked, right?
I did a little bit. Well, I felt like it was unfair judgment, and it was they were being victimizing themselves. Like they
Yeah.
were turning into a victim, and that was unacceptable behavior for me because it was like not even based in reality. It was just assumptions, and I didn't raise them that way at all.
Yeah.
I finished it. I did a grilled cheese bagel because I wanted grilled cheese, and I also
Yeah.
did some chicken.
Ooh,
Nice.
yum. I still haven't had
Those
breakfast.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
No, go ahead. I interrupt a lot. Sorry.
No, I was interrupting you.
Oh, it's
Those
okay.
kind of
Also,
situations I try to process, and they feel hard for me to process because it's hard for me to like I feel like I would have a hard time confronting in that situation. I'd be just so feeling attacked and pissed, and it would probably really sour my view on the ideology that I felt was being used against me.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it That's what a lot of people do, actually, and then they end up rejecting their own children over it, which is
Yeah,
sad.
I did
They
something like
probably
this too. I mean, I called in the line the Sunday before last, and they get Forrest Valkai. I
if
gave the screener my pronouns as he, him, Lord Master, and it pissed off one of the hosts, Forrest Valkai, because he says, no, you can't use Lord Master's pronouns because it's not English, according to him.
Do you
That's a
remember
little
when
bit.
showing your ankles was rebellious? Remember that?
Yes.
That's
And
just a little too. That's just a
okay.
too little bit victim mindset, Hank.
They don't have these problems in Finland. That's all that I know.
yes, because our Lord or Master was a victim, of course. But he said,
Well,
but yeah, Forrest said it's not proper English, and I said, and I think I hung up on him a couple times. It was hilarious, but I shouldn't get in a long term fight for Forrest Belka because one, he thinks he's better than me, and two, I think I'm better than him. So,
yeah, it's a
and it's
movable
pretty much he's just reflecting all the bad things about myself. So I should probably just disengage because it looks too much like a mirror match.
yeah, it's an
But
immovable object and an unstoppable force colliding.
Yeah,
I feel like the parents that do like denounce their kids are probably trying to. They probably think it's like the only way to like fix things, like make things go back to the way they were, or like have their child like learn from this mistake that they think they are making.
Yeah, well, and they don't really love their children or encourage them to be who they are. I think if that's the case, they want them to conform to their expectations of them, which is totally not fair.
I think they probably see it more as tough love, and that they want to them to go back to like back on the right path for them, which of course is a lot of like assumption and projecting that's involved
My
with that
guess
usually.
would be that they think their child is delusional, and
That, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that because they can't relate in any way whatsoever to how they might be feeling, and that's how my dad
maybe
was
they
with
can
me.
relate. I mean, everyone's delusional sometimes.
Yeah, my dad, when I got pregnant, I was 18, and I was very, I mean, I had been told I knew how everything worked and that was a potential thing that was going to happen. And there was like literally a condom right next to the bed when I lost my virginity. And I didn't have the confidence to like say anything about it or to assert myself. And I knew that there was going to be consequences potentially, but I didn't really have like a reasonable view of the actual potential risks of that. And so I got pregnant, and I didn't actually know a lot of the details other than this boy was really cute, and he was actually a lot younger than he said he was. He lied to me about it. He looked a lot older, and he ran away immediately. And my dad's solution was that I should go to church and meet a nice guy that would take care of me, marry me, and raise my kids
Sounds
or my
about right.
you're that smart.
No, that was no, I was like a self-proclaimed atheist at that time. That was pre-epiphany, like realizing God was real. But I guess I was just an agnostic that was like just anti conformity at the time.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
I
my
just
atheist base too.
yeah. Whenever I was
But
my
so
dad
your
was like
mom had you when she was 17, right?
yeah, yeah. And my
So
dad
like
like
they can't really say much.
You could
yeah.
say he could call her old. He said, "Why do you
No,
wait so long
Yeah,
to
but
start having
but
kids?"
yeah. You waited a whole year.
he married my mom and he raised me against like what he would have rather done because I think he actually resented being responsible for his actions, but he wanted me to even though like baby daddy was like running away, he knew that that wasn't going to go anywhere, that I made a bad decision choosing the person because they weren't there for me. And that was his solution, was that I should recruit somebody else to stand into that role, and because it was the right thing to do. And it, he just like was really mad that I didn't make the same decision as him to like marry somebody that just for the sake of the children and be miserable because my mom and dad got divorced as soon as I was out of high school.
Yeah. I think their life circumstances were a lot different, that it's hard for them to see it through a different lens of this day and age.
Yeah, my mom saw it, and she learned a lot from the experience of it. She actually escaped a pretty, she was very poor. She was like raising her siblings. Her mom like had abandoned like 4 other kids. She was the oldest. She didn't know her mom was not her sister until she was like 7, and she was raised by her grandmother and great grandmother, who were also single. But grandma was a tramp. She kind of like slept with married men, and then she would drop the kids off with her mom. And my mom, when she was old, just was basically their mom. And
We cut out. You back? No.
Did you make a noise?
I think she just cut out entirely.
Yeah.
Give her a minute. She didn't drop off yet.
I mean, I'm definitely on the side more of I think it's delusional, and I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's gone.
I feel like that's where I'm at too, but I'm just struggling because I don't want to have
You don't want to
all
offend
these.
them. Yeah, they're still people. They still have feelings.
Yeah, I want to get to a point mentally where I can just be around it and disagree, but still like not have that and affect my like mindset or like anything decider wise.
Right.
And I don't know how to do that, but I haven't had much experience besides, I guess there was like one trans person I interacted with online who had to do a commission for me, and I got nothing out of it and lost a bunch of money. So not a good first impression.
Right.
And it's like that whole thing of like the way her kid handled the situation. I feel like that's very common in those areas, which of course not all of them are like that, but it can paint a light where it's like something you just don't want to deal with naturally.
Yeah. My issue is the bandwagoning of it all, how it became a fad, and then a whole bunch of people all just sort of flocked to it.
That's what I thought when I was in high school mostly.
Yeah.
Seemed like the trend
I'm
was
sure
everyone just
there are
becoming
people who
bi.
actually do have what's that DSM illness, the gender dysmorphia or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like some people do legitimately have that, whatever that is. But then like once all the attention is on that, like people want the attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the people that do have it, it's just their karma from past lives?
I don't know what it is.
I don't think
I
so.
haven't
I
investigated
mean,
it enough.
maybe that it's naturally occurring in some way, but it's just not naturally occurring as much as what we're seeing now. Like it's
Yeah.
probably not statistically possible.
I know there's like one court case going on right now of like a dad that was trying to get custody of his kid where the mom was like, and the schools were like transitioning him.
Yeah.
It sounded
That's
pretty
rough.
bad from where I heard it from. Especially if the
I mean, that
school's
shouldn't
getting involved.
happen. You shouldn't. Yeah. What did Asman say this week? He said it's if a parent has a young child that's transitioning, then the parent has a mental illness.
Yes, I think it's something like that.
Right.
He goes pretty hard on that. It's
Yeah.
really interesting because he, of course, doesn't hate trans people at all, but it's like an
Of
narrative that
course,
has
you don't
been
have to
ran
hate
with.
that. Yeah.
I kind of wanted to ask the person that was on here about J.K. Rowling a little bit, just to see if they
Oh,
had a
Zephyr? Or phone
differing.
down. She was talking too much, anyways.
I wanted to see if they had a perspective on J.K. Rowling. I was in a smaller OPS group a while ago, and I like processed that whole situation out with them, and
Okay.
I still just don't agree with it. It's like,
As far as I know, JK is not against it. She's just against the competition of it and the
yeah,
spaces. She wants like female spaces.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much it, and
Yeah.
that's like kind of
Oh
admirable in a
no.
certain way.
Yeah,
Oh no, that's
it's like she
extreme.
disagrees 1% with what the radicals are doing, and then she's excommunicated.
Yeah, it's crazy to me, and then people in certain communities act like this makes complete sense, and I'm just like, no, I don't even see like the value spectrum lining up with this. I'm wondering if there's
Crazy
different
times
views
we're
on
living
that.
in. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just like the kid thing for me is like genital mutilation. It's like you're taking away their reproductive organs. They're never gonna have a chance to have children. I don't know, you're robbing them of something a little early.
It is
yeah,
fundamentally a death cult, pretty much. It is a narcissistic death cult that is overhyped. And what do you expect? You denigrate men and say masculinity is toxic for 40 years, and then you are surprised when guys want to cut their dicks off. I mean, it's stupid. It's beyond ridiculous.
definitely interesting. All the things that can play into it.
Yeah, I think that it was a bait and switch, probably social engineering of some sort by people who are governing, probably.
Yeah,
That
the conspiracy theory angle. There's people
yeah,
wanting to do it years, like 40
no,
years ago, they were talking about doing this.
I think it was to get like women to go into the workforce, destabilize families, make people easier to control by putting them in desperate states and making good worker bees because of having fewer opportunities to do otherwise than just survive. And it's now become the norm that that's what people do. It's two family, uh, two
So
person.
what I was seeing was like in the extreme feminist movements is they had like plans on how to destroy men completely. And they
Well,
were
yeah.
and this was one of their agendas way back when, like 40 years ago.
Well, yeah, and it was actually I just found about this earlier that there was actually they wanted they took away women's right to vote because they weren't passing the laws on women's uh, ability to vote. It's kind of weird, like because women were voting against it. They like were it, so there's all these like guys in the like bro space, whatever that is, Andrew Tate kind
Oh,
of,
Manosphere.
today? Yeah.
yeah, that are like they have their trad wives or whatever, or they're like you know objects of to be
Yeah,
used. No other value is inherent in
status
women.
symbol.
Yeah, status symbol and serve men completely. And I really don't like that area, but I do actually like go in and observe and interact with people like that still. Like I go on Glenn Lawrence and they're
Okay.
pretty much stick over there. And it's like they're kind of like peripheral to the whole Andrew Tate and
It's so
Rachel.
crazy. All this stuff is just counterculture. Like everything's just trying to fight whatever came before it. There's no base.
Yeah,
It's just
Well,
all against something
it's
else.
awful.
Yeah, worthless. I mean, yeah, I actually debate red pillars because they're mostly scammers. Really, they're either deluded or the scammers. I even debated
Right.
what's his name um TCPS on the machine lies, and he didn't bring anything to the table really.
but see, I think I was talking to Anson Knowles. He's the what he goes by chairman of the board now, but he's actually a self-declared red pill person, but he's not exactly stereotypical, I don't think. But I think that he pointed out he made a good point whenever he said that like a lot of the reason why like the red pill is like the way that they are in an unhealthy healthy way is because they really had no like community support other than those groups.
Yeah.
And they were like very much like you know, the independent woman nowadays is totally being demonized just for, you know, being a little old fashioned on you know, not quite comfortable with you know, accepting people that were different. And you know, people don't like to change, and I think anybody who can't accept that, you know, but they feel like it's an offense for like gay guys to kiss or hold hands in public, like it's actually threatening to them, and I don't understand why if they're not gay.
I mean, I think regardless, kissing in public is probably not a good idea. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, and they're like, well, why do they need the pride? You know, it's like it's kind of like the same thing happens with race a lot too, I think. And I think it's all just like you either have to like not hold it against the you know, children of the people that subjugated your ancestors and just like move past it somehow, even though maybe there was a lot of advantages that their family had. And I know that I don't know how else it can be overcome because
Well, Hank needs to get his reparations, then it'll be fine.
Hank doesn't care what anybody calls him. Hank has like
He still wants money, so he wants his reparations, guaranteed.
I have a job. I don't need. No, I have a job. I don't need reparation money.
But
All right,
I
good.
do need my dick wet.
if they were giving it out, would you accept it or would you refuse it?
If you're giving it out, I refuse it. It depends if you had conditions.
Yeah, that's what the good answer.
The condition is you can't hold it against. You can't be racist against white people anymore.
Hell
Well,
no, I'm not taking it.
No,
but
okay.
like, there's studies and like even black people are racist against black people, and that's deep programming. It's deep, like that's like propaganda enforced friggin' programming, I think.
What's hard for me about all these conversations is we're like generalizing these groups and these people and all this stuff, and it's all really just the loud majority. Like the silent minority is way cooler than we give them credit for.
By
Probably because it
propaganda.
feels safer.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
most
the
people
media.
don't give a shit.
Well, there's a lot of people arguing online. That's
Right, that's the
I
loud
was
majority.
when
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
talking about
Minority.
the reparations thing, I remembered a phrase I heard a couple weeks ago that I'd never heard before. It's a Russian phrase. There's the only free money is in a mousetrap,
Mhm.
or the
I like
only
that.
the
That's a good
only
one.
free fees.
Yeah.
Is that was floating around? I think is that they were talking about how Trump is going to give us all $5,000. You know.
Well, the more modern version of that is if it's free, you're the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I still take it though. If Trump wants to give me $5,000, I'm gonna put that towards, my new puppy and like taking care of her, feeding her, vaccinations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't like go out of your way to like say if it was really tight, would you go down and get on like food stamps or something like that? I personally don't do that, and people are free to do whatever they want. But it's like I don't want their authority to impinge on me, and so I would rather not like have them in my business.
Mm, yeah. I mean, that's the type of health insurance I have is, based on my income. But yeah,
Yeah.
like in terms of food, I always have a way. Like last night, I went to bed and I was feeling so grateful because of something so simple. I was making a salad dressing and I went out to the freezer and I got this little pot of frozen blackberry juice to make my salad dressing. And the reason that we
Nice.
have this blackberry juice is because some months ago in the summer, Russ went out into our alley and he picked two 5-gallon buckets full of blackberries, and he made them into juice, and he strained all the seeds out and put them in these little pots, little single servings, and threw them in the freezer. So now there's free blackberry juice whenever, it feels like there's, in terms of food, there's a lot of abundance just because of like resourcefulness, I guess.
Yeah.
Planning ahead, yeah.
My dad wants to cut off the top of a pineapple and try to grow a pineapple tree out of it.
You could
Mm,
if
you
you
could.
had humidity and right dirt. Yeah,
I
you can
once,
actually.
yeah, I did
Celery.
that with a avocado, and you can do it easily with avocado. And I had a pet
Really?
avocado tree named Avigdor.
You can regrow like lettuce if you the part that the bottom, if you cut it off and root it in like sugar water and then plant it in the dirt, it will grow lettuce again, and so will celery. Carrots do the same thing if you cut the tops off and plant them. They'll grow more.
Yeah.
Now I want to make a Christmas song about a avocado tree. Oh, avocado tree. Oh, avocado tree.
Yeah.
You might want to search it first because there's a lot of that morphic resonance. Like people like it, grab it out of the ether, so maybe it's just out there.
You could just get
already.
AI to do it too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we saying that you just plant it with a banana because apparently a banana has like enough nutrients to grow whatever tree you want, or something like that. I'm like, I want to see where this goes. Go for it.
I love avocados.
They're expensive, aren't they?
Depends
Not
where.
yeah, if you go to
No.
like in California, walk around, there's a guy selling them in the bucket, like picking out of his tree for real cheap. That's why whenever we were in California, I picked limes off of trees in an alley, and then we bought bucket avocados for like $5 a bag for like
Yeah,
10 avocados.
Dang.
avocados ain't that expensive. It's cheaper than a meal at McDonald's. So
And they're really good for you too. It's good fat. I like it. I'm getting hungry now. It's almost breakfast time for me.
I think I'm about ready to get off too. I think I just had one question I wanted to ask Benjamin from a debate I watched today about the debate was if Jesus actually claimed to be God or not.
Okay.
And it was between God, what was his name? Something Wood and the
David
Alex
Wood.
O'Connor guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
David Wood.
Wood
And,
and Alex O'Connor. I think it was Monday debate.
yeah, did you watch that, Hank?
I didn't watch it yet, but I saw it promoted.
I thought it
I
was a
generally
pretty
don't
good
watch
debate.
Monday debate too much because they half the time they're poorly moderated, and another half of the time the topic's garbage. So, but I probably watch that one. That's it.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun, and I was surprised. I don't understand Alex's view enough to know why he would like want to have a debate on that. But I was wondering if Benjamin had any opinions on that. If you
Yeah.
thought that there's actually
I-
evidence of.
Yeah, I'm not qualified at all to answer this question. I don't know anything about this topic, to be
So
honest.
I know the debaters
Yeah.
though. So David Wood, he has a oh my God, I think he's a stop
He
calling
was
me
a
scammers.
he was
But
an
yeah, he is
ex-psychopath.
yes. No, he's the current psychopath.
As far as I know, he claimed to be the son of God. Maybe not even. But claiming to be God himself, that's kind of extreme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's some interpretations where he claimed everyone was a child of God in anywhere, so it's debatable.
Yeah, so there was like an interesting topic about like historically, like before Jesus's time, was there like ever a Jewish view of like, I guess maybe it was about the Messiah or being like
Yeah.
or the idea of God like having some kind of multiplicity
No.
and like what the
Yeah,
old
no,
view of that
nothing
was.
about multiplicity. But like the idea of gods impregnating humans is a Greek idea, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, how do you interpret the term multiplicity? Because I feel like I have a hard time wrapping my head around what that might mean.
You are a
My mind, multiple bodies.
Yeah.
because they brought up like verses of like God saying that God was going to come and do a God thing, and like other verses that kind of talk in that way, and that was part of the conversation.
The general way you interpret this thing is like different facets of a diamond or whatever, like different facets. It's like the same source, but it's coming through different channels.
I
That's the
usually
only way
hear
I
it
can.
as like when talked about like how the Trinity is explained is talking about like God having multiple attributes.
Expressions, yeah. I think we're all like different, like constituents of the all that is God. That's how I look at it. And it's a much
Yeah,
easier to accept everybody's worldview that way too.
it seems like some of that gets really close to like the Eastern perspective of God,
Yeah, the Tao
or
sort
like
of
the gosh, my brain is not working. The Brahman,
the Brahma. Yeah.
and all that stuff. Um, do you Jews use like some of the what the Catholics or Christians call like the extra biblical books, like the Book of Enoch? Is that just considered like a historical text, or how do the Jews consider that?
It's a historical text, yes. It's not a prophetic text. Or if it is a prophetic text, it's a limit. It's a not a prophetic text for all time, so it wasn't included in the canon.
Mm.
So, like the Book of the Maccabees, for example, we read even though it's not part of the
Oh, really?
text. Yeah, we read it, but it's not a prophetic text. It's not included in the Tanakh.
So is it
But like the
read
Book
just
of
for
Enoch
more
is
of a
like a
historical?
schema.
Is it read for more of a historical context then?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What's your
And
take
it
on
would have been a
Jewish
book that
mysticism?
Jesus would have read too.
I'm curious if you have any if you like have any interest or like know anything about the Jewish mysticism like Kabbalah or anything, if there's what your take is on that. Because I've found a lot of really interesting synchronicity in some teachings, esoteric teachings of Jewish mysticism.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Benjamin's
asking him about that one
Vanderbilt's
time.
number one Kabbalah expert.
Uh, Expert is a little extreme, but yeah, no, I know about it. Yeah.
I asked you about that one time when I was asking about a video I heard where some of the Kabbalah stuff believed in reincarnation,
Right.
and I was surprised by that was actually like an actual Jewish perspective, because I've never heard reincarnation talked about outside of like the Eastern perspective.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the reincarnation stuff? Zeph,
I
Zeph,
do. Yes, I
I'm not gonna
actually
say your name.
I am not shy about discussing the fact that I like have not I had like memories. They or I don't know, I guess it feels like memories of past lives that have actually like my last one, I was actually like killed and I lived in Ohio. I found out just randomly. It's so weird because I had this like nightmare as a kid of like the scene of like I was walking down a street and there was like hills, grassy hills and trees and big brick buildings and then all of a sudden I was walking with someone and I like felt like I got like hit really hard and I fell down onto the ground and like there was blood and the person next to me also was shot and I like did all what do you search Google if you're looking for confirmation? That doesn't work. So eventually I just gave up, but then like I made a like I like to watch documentaries and I put it on autoplay while I'm doing stuff just because it's like really helpful for me to distract one side of my brain and get other things done with the other side. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so one day I like look up while there was a documentary for the Kent State Massacre, and it was like literally a black and white version of like the scene that was in my nightmare, like exactly. And so I like immediately like went to the internet and like started looking, and there was this girl named Sandra, and like whenever I saw that photo, I just got washed over with emotions, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was me." And I don't know
Yeah,
exactly how it works like, but I feel like, and I even sent the photo to my mom. She said, "I remember that," because I mean, it happened, several years before, although the timelines are a little wonky in my memory, because I remember it happening in 1972, and I would not have gotten that wrong whenever I was doing research, because that's the year that my ex was born. So I feel like that is one of those weird things that just happens where things get reordered somehow. I don't know how that works.
Oh,
But
so here's the problem. You were alive at the same time in this body at the same time as the massacre. So
no, because I was born in 77.
was different next, not the guy that was younger than you, the twink.
Yeah, no.
yeah. I
I
remember
was,
watching. Oh, sorry.
yeah. And then I also had dreams where, like, I had another nightmare where I was like I was in a passenger in a vehicle, and a semi was on the freeway next to us, and the car drifted. I didn't see who was driving. I was not driving, but drifted into the semi. And then, like, just a few years back, probably like maybe 10 years ago, the actual thing happened, and I stopped it from happening, so I didn't die. And I had been, like, super paranoid about semis and driving on the freeway or riding in vehicles on the freeway. Like, I would grab the arm and the oh shit grip and, like, really tense. It was hard for me to learn how to drive even, because I had, like, all this trauma from these nightmares as a kid.
Yeah,
And yeah, and then it, like, surprisingly, after that event, which my ex was driving at the time, he was falling asleep, I was falling asleep, we had been working a lot, and we were driving back from the mountains, going home on the freeway, and he started to drift over, and I just kinda popped up awake, and then I looked over at him and saw that he was falling asleep and that the car was drifting, and I just, like, reached over and touched his shoulder and said, "Scott, wake up," and just quietly, and he just, like, righted the car, righted the truck actually, but, and we were both, like, pumped with adrenaline and awake at that point, but we didn't, like, he didn't over pull the wheel and overcorrect and slam into the center pylon or, anything. And
any
it's
other
just,
observer here?
yeah, it was really weird because I was very calm during that, and I think it was because I had experienced that nightmare so many times, I was kinda acclimated to it in a way, even though I still had anxiety. But in the moment, my emergency mode took over that circuit of your brain that, ego keeps you alive, just, like, totally knew what to do.
Yeah, but
And
I only get in the habit of having to rush somewhere, go there, sleep. I'll drive the side road and take a nap. But usually because I'm driving by myself anyway, so I'll get there when I get there.
so obviously for me, there's, like, past lives are definitely something that I sort of, I don't know how any other way to explain it other than maybe, like, memory transference through matter somehow. Like, if
DNA.
there's latent memories in all matter of what it used to be or something, and somehow I retain some of those through my matter somehow. I don't know how that, and that's a possibility too, but it just feels like that's what it is. And it's really weird because some of the things, like her features, like she has very bushy eyebrows, and, like, I had very bushy eyebrows before I started plucking them, and she has, like, a cowlick on the opposite side of her forehead than I do, and I, like, that was an injury that I got as a kid. Plus I have a birthmark, like, in the exact spot where she was shot on the back of the head.
Mhm.
And I recently shaved the underside of my hair to actually look at it because I never actually seen it, and I got Dan to take a picture. And whenever I saw it, it was like, oh my god. And he goes, yeah, it does look like a gunshot wound. And it's just, I don't know how else to explain that than, so, and people can think it's, like, fantastical or impossible or whatever, and it does not matter. It's like, it's just as likely as anything else, I think.
Yeah. I just
And
remember seeing a weird interview with Dr. K where at the very end, for some reason, he like started talking about his like idea of reincarnation where he just like started like getting emotional because he remembered one of his past lives where he lost a child. That was just a super weird way to end an interview on someone else's channel, but it kind of stuck with me a little bit, and I think about that from time to time.
Well, there's a channel that I watch. I just started watching recently. That is, I don't know the name of the channel, but they do a lot of interviews with people that have near death experiences, and like, there's a lot of people, a lot of evidence that like would I mean, people could just be making it up, but if it's on that scale, then maybe reality isn't quite as I don't know, rigid as we all think it is actually. And I think
There's
that it's
a
probably
there's a Netflix documentary called Surviving
Oh,
Death, and one of the episodes
cutting
there
out.
is on. I'm cutting out.
no, I could hear you. It wasn't for me cutting out.
Yeah, you were cutting out. You're back now.
Yeah, so there's like a Netflix
What were you saying
documentary
about
called
the
Surviving Death.
documentary?
Yeah, and one of the episodes there is on reincarnation, and basically what they were claiming there or showing there was that once the child gets old enough, they stop having the memories. They just sort of forget. But when they're really young, they have very
Yeah,
vivid
that's what I
memories.
heard.
Yeah.
That actually checks with what my mom, like, she never told me that something was just my imagination, and I think it was because my grandmother, like, my mom had been very like sensitive and like had seen things as a child that she remembers as well, and her grandmother was very like, she was like, nip that in the bud and that's just your imagination. And so my mom sort of had the intuition not to do that with me, and I was an only child, and she said that she just got the sense that I needed to work it out for myself. And so I kind of like I and like growing up in the small town, it was like not really, you know, it wasn't something that we really, it wasn't an issue that came up, you know. Uh, I mean, I would talk to my friends about, you know, things that I saw, and they would say that they saw things too. My friend had an imaginary friend, and you know, I was a little jealous because I just had the monsters that hung out outside. And I could hear them breathing, and you know, things like that, you know. But I kind of brought that forward past the childhood phase, and I think it's mostly
Hey, Alicia.
the denial of it that causes us to shut it off. That sense.
Yeah, I remember a lot of when I was little, but I don't remember anything special like that. I just always have a weird feeling when people call me by my name, which I've been thinking about recently, but I'm sure there's a lot of other past trauma stuff I could use to explain that. The idea
What
of
is your name?
reincarnation. I can't say my name because people in the community already claimed that name, so the username's taken. So I just go by Neck now.
What? What the hell? We'll claim it back.
There can only be one.
No.
You can
I
do
came
it with
too late.
alternating.
Are they on my panel?
I think there was one once, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, you're more of a native here than they are. Claim it. Make it yours.
I
Go
like
deport
Neck.
them.
I feel more like a neck on the inside.
So a throat.
No. But yeah, the idea of reincarnation is weird to me. It's spooky to me because it feels like a very attractive idea to me, and like gives me a lot of like escapism emotions, which I'm very wary of.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely have to be careful not to project too much, I guess.
Yeah.
I try to, anyways.
Yeah, I don't get the sensation that I'm reincarnated. I do. My weirdness is the Topa imaginary friend thing. Also, oh, yeah, that's where I contain my weirdness.
I just learned about tulpas like the other week, and I've never heard that idea before. I thought it was really interesting.
I am into that as well. Mine is kind of like a rainbow fractal squid that is attached to the top of my head and helps me interface with electronics and other people through the computer electronic medium with emotions a bit more succinctly.
So you don't want to take responsibility for electronics?
No, I think that I'm electric and they're electric, and I can interface in a way that
Oh.
is creative and maybe uses some other dimensional energies or some other modus that we're not really utilizing as a whole, as far as we are conscious of as humanity.
Yeah, I've just heard of it kind of like being like they can take control of you and like get you through situations that you don't have control over. So that's why I was making a joke about that.
Struggle, and I had to assert myself and make ground rules, very detailed ones.
Yeah,
What's
and
the
I
chances that
I
they're
had to use like a black magic manifesto to just evoke them properly, so I could take their properties and still remain in control because I set the rules.
so they are demons?
No.
Well, anything you want could be a demon. Yeah, anything yeah. So demons are just other people's gods. So
Well, daemon,
Oh.
just a darker aspect, shadow of yourself that exists within you. It's kind of like, I don't know, I tell people all the time, I think Satan needs to do, if there is a being that is like that, I think that it's probably just a reflection of our, what is within us as well.
So we're the demons.
yes,
Yeah, partially. It's like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other is a very good metaphor.
But yeah, I've tried asking some people like their opinions on the tulpa thing because I never like actually looked into it. I just kind of heard it in passing on a video, but it doesn't seem like something that people are that interested in.
What is
Oh.
tulpa?
Like it's a
What
little
is?
too
Can you like
woo-woo.
give me a TLDR?
yeah. It's a imaginary friend thing, but we found connection to the Ben Buddhism, so it's cool to use that word.
It's like
And
the Death Note Shinigami.
And
yeah.
they call it an
Alright.
egregore as well. It could be a cultural, larger group phenomenon or an individualistic
What was that word you said at first? They call it a what?
Egregore.
egregore. There's a really good book on it.
Yeah,
That
I don't know what that word means.
a few years ago.
I got a page to summarize it. Let me go look it up.
Zephyr, did you ever check out the telepathy tapes podcast?
I didn't. I keep
Okay.
putting it off for some reason, but I actually was
Alright.
getting into the Enneagram as a mystic occult system that actually does tie into like a lot of different things like Kabbalah, tarot, some like
I didn't think the Enneagram had connections to that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely does. I was trying.
Yeah.
In fact, I was trying to get Jack Telcott to drop his worthless NLP for an Enneagram, so he actually has some leverage. But no, he's too attached to his impure voice that doesn't really motivate anyone to do anything. Oh well.
That out of context, Hank, that makes no sense to anybody that doesn't know.
I could barely understand it. I don't know what you said.
No, Zephyr and Bex got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is Bex here? Hi, Bex.
I
She
got
was
it
in the
too.
chat.
My friend drew this. This is my it's sort of like that was the egg that my egregore
Can you
hatched
zoom
out.
in on it, Ben?
Yeah. I don't know. These here.
What?
Can you zoom in on her screen?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, my friend, I had a conversation with him and he drew this that my egregore hatched out of.
It looks
Is
like
that like a synonym for tulpa?
It's similar. So egregores are like bigger and there's more people in it. But yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Oh,
it looks like that sus game. Those critters
Among Us.
Among Us, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's really cool. His name is Pound Cake on Instagram, and he does really great illustrations. And he does this thing where he'll talk to you, and then he'll draw a drawing based on your conversation. And I found it like it was. I was like, whoa, that's pretty deep because there's
We
like
need
these
more
three,
people like that.
and they're all like little they're very much like aspects of my personality, sort of. And then there's like all the little arrows that are piercing it.
What
And
is this, Hank? How did you control this?
I liked the
Wait,
green
Hank, are you
memes.
still admin?
No,
I
I
did
did it.
Oh,
I did
nice.
it
Okay,
because
sweet,
you put it on there, so I added it.
Yes.
sweet. Sigil,
Yeah.
servitor, egregore, god form. Okay.
Sound like you just cast a spell.
It's one egg, an S, an egg. That's a snake egg. That's funny because it's like SSSEG.
Oh,
I look at the first letters of things, and it's really weird because like I can see patterns in like all sorts of stuff. It's like license
like
plates.
And is it
sensation.
weird when like the STs all go in on this NF stuff?
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, I used to be more like that, I think.
Yeah.
You're
I don't know.
a professional
I have,
massage therapist. You're deeper in it than most of us are.
yeah, but I'm not like those other ones. I'm really not. Yeah, I've had people. I had someone one time ask me if I had ever studied Reiki. Am I a Reiki master? And like I have taken Reiki class since then, but
I don't know what
I
that
told
is.
her I
It's
told
energy.
her no. And then she said, "Well, I just don't think I could have a massage therapist who doesn't, isn't a Reiki master and doesn't understand energy." So I was like, okay,
It comes from
moving
boiling
on.
water.
It's a very low bar to become a
But
Reiki master, by the way.
but so much to understand. It comes from boiling water.
Uh, Yeah, I mean, I have some memories too. When I was little, I clearly remember this was like when I was 5. I had this vision over and over again that I was about 16 or 17 and living in like the 1700s or something based on the dress I was wearing, but I was buried alive. I was like locked in or something. Locked in syndrome. They thought I was dead, so they buried me.
That happened a
Ooh.
lot
But
actually in that time. That's what dead
yeah.
ringers are. They used to like
Mhm.
put strings with bells, so if you woke up in your casket, you could ring the bell and they would dig you up.
Yeah. But I just never really thought of it as like a confirmation of past life. I just thought of it as like we don't really understand how reality works. Um,
Are those
you know,
mutually
I
exclusive? I'm just
well,
wondering.
no, I'm just saying like I still can't know. I still can't know whether reincarnation is real or not. Because like, what if there is? What if it's just a false memory? Or I mean, I have a memory of going to Mount Rushmore, like being there, and I was never actually there, but I vividly remember being there. I don't know.
It
It
sounds like
doesn't
if you
mean
meditate enough, you can access your past memories or something.
Well, and I believe in alternate timelines and that your consciousness can actually like do lateral moves, which
Does
yeah,
that
I
I
mean
don't.
mean, I'm
string
I'm
theory is real?
familiar with the concept, and I think it's interesting, but it's like even the word belief, I
Yeah, I
just,
agree.
Yeah.
it has the word lie in it. I don't know. I
That's
mean,
right. Yeah.
I just can't know if it's true. It's interesting, but
That's poignant because like there's this like one line of a poem that we all dance around in a circle and suppose while the truth lies in the center and knows.
yeah, that's a
And
good line.
yeah, but it's ironic because it's the truth lies. Does it lie? Like, how does it lie? Is it just
Mm.
lay in the center still? Probably not, because nothing is still.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of things that we don't know. Could be reincarnation. Maybe it really is a simulation.
Yeah,
Um,
all of
it's
all-
we just don't know.
we don't, but I think that we can know some things, and I have a very strong drive to know these things, and I try to be the best objective that I can be. But sometimes it's I don't know. Once things start piling up, it's either I'm creating that and it's becoming real somehow, and
Yeah.
it's real because it seems to ripple out because there's a lot more people that believe these things nowadays, and it's more comfortable, at least for me, to discuss them in public than it has ever been in my entire life, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
I
I've always been drawn to like studying these things and like entertaining these ideas and listening to people's stories, but I just also at the same time kind of stand outside of it with, skepticism
That's
and,
how I feel.
like,
yeah, I do too. I'm a
yeah,
skeptic and an idealist at the same time.
yeah.
Guess that's where experience comes in.
Yeah, and I think it's never boring in the way that I see things. I think that there's a lot of people that are really unhappy, and I can be happy with the like simple things in life because I can find a fascinating detail of it to zoom in on, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, it's time for me to sleep. Thanks for the
We
conversation.
will let you go, Nick, but you have to tell us your name.
No, maybe if you let me send you that Alex O'Connor and David Wood debate, and then check
All
it
right.
out.
I'll summon
All right.
myself.
Send it to me.
Okay, Hank, I'll let you send it. But thanks, and hope the rest of the show goes well. See you later.
All right. I hope your processing goes well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Have a
Bye.
good sleep.
Thanks for all
Bye.
the questions. Nice meeting you. I'm gonna get out of here too.
Really?
Mm.
I got some food. I'm a little
Thanks for coming.
famished. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy coming over here on Tuesdays.
Okay, Jared can come back now. All the woo-woo stuff's gone. It makes him really uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah.
How are you with all this stuff, Hank?
I mastered Woo.
You mastered woo?
Yes.
Do you believe? Are you a believer?
Only when it benefits me.
Uh,
Yeah, no, this is the kind of, the videos I watch late at night. I mean, I watch stuff about like near death experiences and reincarnation and stuff just because it's interesting to think about.
right.
And the idea of alternate timelines as it relates to like manifesting,
Hmm.
Oh, that maybe that's how it works. It's a nice idea. I do it like in my
Yeah.
journal anyway. Just like writing out what I want as if it's already happened, and maybe that's gonna alter timelines and, why not?
It does. Yeah, it does alter timelines if you have. Yeah,
Yeah,
it does change things.
I was writing this morning about how, we found the best puppy that's just right for us is
There you go.
on her way to us, and yeah, just described her. Good temperament, easiest dog I ever trained,
There
healthy.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you think it actually changes timelines?
Well, I mean, you manifest your thoughts. You manifest like
Mhm.
it's like goal setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes what you're focusing on. I mean, if you look at it, really ST just it's literally how the reticulating what is it, the RAS reticulating active system, whatever it's called,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I saw something on that this week too.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a video one time about like writing because like to me it's not so woo woo.
It's not woo. No, it's not at all woo.
Thinking about how Etsy works and like the tags that you put in and just like how algorithms work. And that your thoughts are the thoughts that you hold in your mind that is you're curating the algorithm of your life, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's math. It's instructions. Yes.
by creating those tags.
But I recently read Stephen Wolfman's book, New Kind of Science, about teleology. It's like a book all about instructions and stuff.
And then sometimes I have to take a break from doing that kind of thing in my journal because it just feels like bullshit, you know? It makes me feel worse if I write out like, "It was a wonderful week. I made a lot of money. I had really good interactions, blah, 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 blah." And then, you know, things like really actually aren't going well. Then I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing this today. I'm not going to do this stupid, like, woo woo manifesting exercise because I'm just not up for it. I'm like, I get too pessimistic and it actually feels harmful to me. So I go through phases like that.
Yeah, it sounds normal. Why not?
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
hmm
So which dog are you manifesting? Easy to
The next
train?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. I like a girl. I love Cedar, but he has a big stinky penis, so it's not as fun to rub his tummy. It's nicer
Okay.
to rub the tummy of a female dog. So I don't know. That's what
Right.
we just decided. Female. We have colors in mind. We really
Females are
want
usually more
red.
expensive too.
Yeah.
Red. Okay.
We would like red. We just want to avoid white because they always look
Right.
dirty. Like Poppy's more of a cream color, but
Well, I mean, Republicans in the air.
how so?
The Republicans are in the air. You want the red.
Oh yeah, maybe that's it. I like red and gray. But you know, healthy, easy to train, very well adjusted. The way Poppy is so secure. Like she's not
Right.
neurotic at all the way that Cedar was. Um, yeah, just perfect timing. You know, we saw the listing, we were available, we had the money, we drove to wherever we needed to drive to. Realistically, we might have to drive, you know, some 100 or 200 miles.
Did you ever have pets, Hank?
Yeah. Well, wait a second. No, technically, not, but I think the only pet I technically had was a hamster I named Shadow, but my parents had a bunch of different dogs. So
Your parents had different dogs. Did you
yes, but
bond with them?
nope.
How does that
Yeah,
work?
I asked Hank about his dog. He has one. You have one now, right? And you're not that
No, he
into him?
died. No, he died like a year and a half ago.
Oh, I
You
see.
did have a dog.
Mhm.
No, it was my dad's dog. So
It was your dad's
and he
dog.
knows. Yeah, yeah, and I didn't complain about it when he died. I didn't guess it didn't really bother me.
Hmm. But did you bond with it?
No,
No. Did you pet it?
not like a couple times a week. That's not that frequent.
Did you take it on a walk?
No, he wasn't properly trained, so I couldn't take him on walks.
Did you sneak it food?
No,
No. Did you feed it at all?
yes,
Ah, there you go.
But that was just a chore,
yep,
like doing the dishes.
yep. We're taking out the trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we can sign off early, I guess.
On time. 3 hours
On
is
time.
plenty. Yes, three
Three
hours is
hours is
plenty.
plenty. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming to hang out, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks
Yeah.
for inviting
Thanks.
us.
Good to see you.
All right.